All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Fourever Rivals on the TJB channel. How is everyone going in the studio and in the chat? First of all, I will start off with, as you know, Manny's gone all the way to Greece. He couldn't stand Australia. He couldn't stand Victoria. He couldn't stand the Premier of Victoria. He left and she resigned. So it could have been Manny that made her resign. But we got Mick. How are you, mate?
I am fantastic, Rocco. Thank you for the invitation for the show.
Oh, we've got a big game tomorrow night for you guys, mate. Can you consolidate this top 6 position, maybe? I mean, you'll be fighting for it. So that's what I think you're looking for, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Really looking forward to this game tomorrow. It's going to be massive. We had a massive win last week, but that's not going to mean shit if we don't back it up tomorrow night. So really looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Nice. And then we got the 2 bottom dwellers over there. We start with Liam. How you going, mate?
Yeah, look, mate. Yeah, pretty good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, obviously, interest in football's kind of fading. Season's kind of done. My team kind of sucks a lot, but there's still some other good teams to watch. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to figure out who I'm going to bandwagon for the rest of the season. That's all.
I might speak to you, and there's Mark there, of course, about now. How does it feel that you're probably officially over a few weeks ago, but how does the season feel? I mean, we've been through it a few times, but yeah, how does it feel now that you're done, man? Like, seriously, there's nothing you like. Do you even get excited about the footy anymore, or is it just about your players? But we'll talk about that. How you going, Marco?
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward for tonight's show. So, when does Manny get back, Rocco? Is it finals? Would he be back for the finals to see the Pies play in the finals, or is he coming back just after the finals?
Unless Colin would make the grand final, no, he won't be here for the finals.
He won't be here. Oh.
He gets back on. That's a very good segue, mate. You're like a genius, mate. He actually gets back, right, on this day here. The big day out. That's when he gets back on the 19th. He gets back that day. So he said he's going to pop in after he gets back from the airport and say a quick hello to everyone. But this is the big day out with TJP. And look who he got. Look, where else are you going to see Andrew Walker and Cody Walker, first ever on-stage interview with the next future star of the AFL, Cody Walker, coming along with his dad. And then we've got David Rhys-Jones. I would have to argue the toughest player ever to play this game, ever. This bloke was as tough as nails, mate. Never took a backward step. And then we've just added Ryan Houlihan. He was the original Silk. Don't worry about Boygon. What was his name? Boygon? Boygon. I can't even say it. Peter Boygon. What is it?
Sure.
Burgoyne.
Burgoyne. That's better. There you go. Rocco's at his best here. Burgoyne. Don't worry about the Silk there. Don't worry about the bloke from the Saints. This bloke was the original Silk, mate. He was delivered the ball beautifully, man. So we got all 4 of them coming. Of course, we got the Monday Blues. Blue Sunday's going to be up there, and we'll get our Fourever Rivals. We'll get them up on stage, have a bit of a chat. I'm sure Mick Sacker's going to be there. Tickets are selling fast. It's in the bio. Make sure you get in there or in our description. Get your tickets now. They're selling fast. Get the VIP where you get secured your front seats. You also get some merch, and you also get first access to the players. So make sure you get your tickets. The big day out. It starts during the day. We're going to have the prelim playing. We're going to have drinks. It's a great venue, the Open Factory. We're going to have games, handball comps, all sorts of stuff going on. So make sure you get your tickets. You'll be
The
there.
only thing, Rocco, it's on the prelim day, yeah? So I don't know,
worry,
man.
Mate. You're not making the prelim, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You're not making the prelim.
I've already got it on my calendar.
You know what? This is what we'll do, Mick. If you make a prelim, I'll give you back your money. All right? How's that sound, man? If you make the prelim, I'll fucking give you back your money and I'll give you some extra. That's how confident I am that you won't be making the prelim, mate.
Ooh, that's a bet there, mate. That's a bet there.
Oh, yeah, I'll pay up. I'll pay up extra if you make a prelim. Of course, we have to also thank, if it wasn't for these guys, we wouldn't be on there. Mate, if you want to have a drink, sometimes you need a hard drink, need a beer. You like a beer, don't you, Mick?
Oh, yeah. Mate.
Yeah. I like a beer. You go down and you see these guys here.
Boozy and bold, top dog liquor. Boozy and bold, top deals, top booze. We have everything you choose. Iron Bar, Keith, Coach, Strathdale, White Hills. Top dog liquor. Get a little punch.
Get down there. If you're down in Bendigo, get down to his pub. I'm telling you, it's one of the best little pubs I've seen, man. It's one of the best little pubs I've seen, man. It's so good. Billiards, darts, the old bloody games in there. You can play Galaga and all that kind of shit. And you have a cold beer. He would have 10 screens around the place where you can watch footy and all that. And you can meet the great, mate. How many chances do you get to meet an Olympian? An Olympian and also a Commonwealth bronze medalist. How many times do you get to do that, man? So get down there and meet him and meet the great man himself. Before we go, we'll say hi to everybody in the chat and then we'll get stuck into, before we go, what did I see here? Where is he? Here we go. Bo, welcome. Of course, he's always there. The great man. He's going to be this week on the watch along for Saturday night. We have all of us in the studio doing the watch along. There'll be me, Mars, there'll be Taylor, there'll be Bo's going to be in here. So we're all going to be here to watch the watch along and watch the Blues teach Brisbane a lesson. How's that sound? Hey? You watch, mate. We're coming out this week. You watch, mate. Don't you worry about preposterous. Don't say words that I can't say, mate. Don't you worry, mate. Always, Sammy Taylor's always the first one. Go see. He's, we had a big win, and again, the same story for you two at the bottom. We got, as I call him, AR. Thank you very much. Other updates from Great Nut. Apparently is just having a good time, as you would when you're on holidays and you're in anywhere near the Greek Isles. I reckon you'd be having a really good time down there. Jay, thanks, mate. Enzo, last night he was on the couch. Isn't this bloke a star, man? He's as funny as there is, man. Welcome to Enzo. And Oz, one of our long-term members. We got Enzo again. Have you, Mick, the Tomo legend on tonight? Yes, he's the Tomo legend.
All my boys stick together.
Yeah, the Tomo Reservoir, the northern suburbs, mate.
Can't beat it.
Yes, we just said that we will be having a watch along. We're all going to be on there, mate. Jakana's always here, mate. There he goes. Manny's in Minikos. Is it that? Minikos? What is that? How do you say that?
Mykonos.
Mykonos. That's better. Mykonos. Taking orders of the Frappe and Gyros. He probably is, man. He's probably doing some sort of shifty business. Our favourite Greek. Thanks, Matula. Lou, always coming up with the goods. Who has we got here? Lana and Joe. How are you, Lana? Uncle Akka, the best doggy supporter in the business. I'm telling you, this bloke's a legend. Yeah, woof, woof. That's it. So hello to everyone. We've also got Paul. I think Paul's out there. Hi, Rocco. Guys, love the show. Yeah, he's a Collingwood supporter, always on here, Paul, mate. He's looking all right. We've got another Collingwood supporter here. You would know this bloke, V Little. Hello, everyone. All you Collingwood supporters know each other. I mean, you was meet up on visiting day down at the prison, weren't you? At the front.
Yes, we do, Rocco. I have to admit.
That's it. At least you're honest. We've got another one here. Hello, lads. The Warble. I think I spoke to him.
Legend, the Warble. He's a legend.
Hey, everyone. He's another one. They're all coming out, mate. They knew you were on here, mate.
They're all coming.
Nah, they're good. I've been on the show, mate, and it's a good laugh, and you're a good fellas out there. Good fellas who have a good laugh. And yeah, Lou, you're right, man. It is Crippers 250 this week, 250 game, mate. That's a great effort, man. The bloke is a legend, and probably going to go down as one of the greats for Carlton without winning a premiership. So there you go. There you go. All right, let's get stuck into this. There's a few things we need to talk about. Fourever footy, always something to talk about with this thing, and we are going to talk about. I reckon we'll get into a little bit of what we're looking forward to in the next 4 weeks, the run home, what's going on, how's it feel when you're completely out? Has the wild card made it more interesting and made the season longer? Is it a good idea now? Have people changed their minds about the wild card now? Imagine winning the premiership from 10th spot. Would that be the greatest win ever in the history of AFL, VFL? If you could win it from 10th, is it really? It'd still be a premiership. It doesn't matter what it is. It'd still be a premiership no matter what. But I want to start quickly on a little bit on the rules again. One of the most, I think, smartest men in the football world, Jumper Lewis from Carlton, thought of a little scam over the weekend and saved another 30, 40 seconds when he walked back so far, he almost had a drink in the rooms and then started to walk back, take his kick and waste another 40 seconds. So what happened if you didn't see it and you're living under a rock? He took a mark at about 50. It was at the 50-metre mark, so he had every right to go back and take the kick. And then he went that far back. When he started his run up, he wasted another 30, 40 seconds, and then he missed anyway. But so I believe AFL are talking about this, and they're going to change the rules again now. Guaranteed they will change the rules where they make you not go as far. They did it with Lloyd, Matthew Lloyd, when he was taking too long to take the kicks. What they do, they changed it for 30 seconds. I reckon they're going to do something. First of all, was it a good tactic? Second of all, what do you reckon? Will they get on?
They've been using that tactic for a little while now, Rocco. They've been using it.
Not like this, mate. Not like this.
No, not to that extent. But a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about that Mackay incident where he obviously took the full 30 seconds, being 55, 60 meters away from goal. But what's happening is that obviously after the 30 seconds, the time obviously still keeps going on. So if it takes you another 10 seconds to walk in, and also the time continues until the umpire has actually signaled for a goal, or a point. So that's another probably 4 to 5 seconds. So once the ball passes the line, the goalpost, by the time the umpire comes towards the center of the goalpost, that's when the time stops. There's an extra probably 4 or 5 seconds on top of that. So all in all, it can take close to 55 seconds to actually, lose in that case, in that scenario.
For that one there by Lewis Young, that, as you said, that would have taken a minute by the time they stopped the clock.
Plus the extra 5 seconds for the umpire.
All up, I reckon that would have taken about a minute, because 30 seconds. Then he done his run up. I reckon the run up was another 20 seconds or so.
Correct. Yeah.
By the time he did his run up. You know what I mean? Are they going to now shorten the time? You watch. And we were talking about this before, Mick, too, that you know what's going to happen. They're going to do another rule. There's going to be another loophole. Then they're going to do another rule. Then they're going to be another loophole. They're going to be another rule because players, coaches will find a way to beat this. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you saw it, Mick. What did you think?
I didn't see it, but that's all I've been hearing about. But my main thing is there's one common denominator here, and it's always about Carlton, man. He's always have to come up with these fucking tactics to try and fucking win games because he's a fucking, struggling at the end. And that's just how it is, man. Now this is the next one. It's like, fuck, we've got to change the rules.
Before you go on, so you said it's always Carlton. So name all this time. Name them all. Let's go. Start. That was one. That was one. What's another one?
And this one. So, yeah, you got two. Two in this year already. It's always, it's just win the game properly, man. You just have to come up with, underhanded tactics. You do it off the field too when Cripper should have been suspended.
You've never done it. You know when Dacos lifts up his arm. You know when Ginnivan and Dacos. You know when Dacos does it now and Ginnivan, they lift up their arm to get the. You've never done it for free kicks.
No, we don't.
Look, I think you're forgetting, mate, that Collingwood actually the rules don't change that way. The rules change to actually help Collingwood. That's what happens.
They do. They'll work out a way so Dacos can get a few more fucking extra possessions from kicking. Bring it from 27 to 37. Hey, should they take away that? If you kick it in, if you play on, should they take away that as a possession?
I reckon they should. Yeah, I agree with that. It's not really.
It's a kick in. So as soon as you play on, it's counted a kick in. But I suppose you take it. But anyway, that's another tactic, man. That's another tactic to save another 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Off the thing. It actually, I don't think it made a difference. We were going to win anyway. There was like, I don't know. I can't remember. There was like a couple minutes ago, we were 13 points in front or something. So I don't think it would have made a huge difference. But
yeah, obviously it doesn't make a difference, Rocco, but it does make a difference if you've done that
all up
15 times during the game. You know what I mean? It can add up with the time allocation to it.
They'll start doing it. As I said, players will start doing it now. Players will start doing it now.
I think that Carlton player or the Carlton, hierarchy would have probably abused it a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Just took it a little bit for granted. You know what I mean? Like I think players were aware of the time issue, but he thought, you know what?
I don't think no one's. But to tell you the truth, I don't think. But people now, like if you think about it, you say, I don't think it's cheating because it's part of the rules.
No, I didn't say it was
but
cheating,
people do it. What you'll see that people will take a mark, right? And then they'll look at the board until there's like 3 or 4 seconds to go, and then they'll start their runner. So they're abusing the rule at the moment. Yeah. No one's everyone's thought about, like wasting time, and you go back and you slowly walk down. No one's thought about going all the way back to full back. No one's thought about that, right? But you watch now, players will just, I don't think they'll go that far back, but now they'll go a little bit further back so they can waste another 10 or 15 seconds. You know what I mean?
He's probably opened up a can of worms. You know what I mean? He's kind of shown it a bit too far, and that's why now they'll get onto it and they'll do something about it, Rocco. You know what I mean? So but I've noticed that the last few weeks, man, probably from that Mackay incident, I noticed that from the minute at 30 seconds, and then continuously the time kept on going after he was going for goal, and then I kept on watching until the umpire actually signaled for the goal, and there was an extra probably 25, 30 seconds on top of that. That's a long time to have a shot at goal.
The other thing is sometimes when they do, they used to do it with the ball up. They used to bounce it, and then they didn't stop the clock, and then they would fucking 3 or 4 seconds. They would bring the ball back, and there was 3 or 4 seconds wasted. Bocek reckons Dacos gets free kicks when someone smudges his makeup.
Come on, Bo. Can I just ask, with Bocek's avatar there, that's got to be his orgasm picture, mate.
Yeah.
That's when he watches your show. Can we beat Brisbane? We'll talk about that. Can we beat Brisbane? We can, but it's going to be very difficult this week. We can talk about Dacos gets 50 metres for breaking a nail. That's very true. But what about that? At the end of the day, what about this? They did it again over the weekend. I see it over and over. This stand rule is just fucking teams up now. This is the most frustrating rule I've ever had. And I tell the AFL, can we just get rid of the rule tonight? Just come out tonight and say, we're never going to do this dumb rule again. Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong and you just go, you know what? Let's just take away this rule. This is ridiculous. The stand rule is ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually reckon spot on. I reckon that they won't change it now this late in the season, which is unfortunate, but they're definitely going to have a review of the rules at the end of the season. And there's a couple of things that you're going to have to change for sure. That's definitely going to be one of them. It has to be. Because like I said the other week, if you've got even players and coaches and staff getting all upset about how it works and not understanding how it works, it's got to go. But that's just me. In terms of what Lewis Young did, it's kind of ironic because the AFL is trying to speed up the game, but yet he's found out a way to slow it down. And I'm with Rocco, like what you said. I think players are smart if they find a way to exploit a rule and make it work for them. Fair play. Will the AFL now do something about it to try to change it? Absolutely. Wouldn't be surprised.
100% they will. Bocek reckons that's my face when we fuck Heidelberg next week.
That's if they let your fans in, Bo. He's been up
there's going to be a
trouble again, mate. Control yourselves, Bo.
There's going to be a big Preston fan base coming down, mate. I think they've sold out their tickets. That's how many they're coming down. Yeah, you're probably right. They probably won't let them in, you know what I mean? Because they're tougher than you. Probably they're the same as you Collingwood supporters, just a little bit soft than that. And Matula makes a good point. The biggest sooks are Collingwood. Didn't they sook to the AFL? And now what they do is the umpires check the stats before they give the vote so they can give Dacos a Brownlow this year?
Yeah. Look, whatever, man. It's wrapped up anyway, man. You watch, man. When they do the Brownlow count, by about this time, there'll be a murmur going around in the room. It's like it's over. Just give it to him now, mate.
There's always that, probably is pretty close, but you know how many times you say that every year and then someone pops out of nowhere and fucking gets like you wouldn't have thought last year. You wouldn't have thought last year that Rao would have won the Brownlow. Yeah. No chance. I didn't even ever have him in my top 10, but maybe we just don't watch him enough. I'll tell you something about the Suns. They're not winning fucking nothing this year. They are the biggest rabble side in the comp. They are a bunch of just absolute, I don't know what to call them, man. Now their whole club's falling apart. Now the coach is no good. You know what I mean? They're talking about getting rid of the coach. The players aren't talking. Everybody wants to leave. That is a rabble of a side, man. I don't know. What do you reckon about that? Christian Petrarca going off at his player and then the player telling him to F off.
Yeah. It's weird with the Suns. On paper, they look fucking sensational, man.
They've probably got one of the most talented lists out there when you look at their list. You think about it. Look at their midfield and their forwards. Yeah. Really all around the ground, man. They've got one of the most talented sides. So there is questions you've got to ask about that team now.
Yeah.
You know, why they just...
Yeah, look, that's what happens when you got a team and the players, they don't give a fuck. They're just playing for paychecks. They don't care. They're up in the Gold Coast. No one gives a shit. It's just they're just there. Yeah, there's no culture. There's no passion for what they're doing, mate. They're just getting paychecks, and that's what happens when you open up a club in an area there where no one gives a shit. That's what happens, man.
I think,
and the answer is they're just going to throw more money at it, which is going to frustrate everyone else, mate. You know?
Of course, that's what they'll do. And David Rhys-Jones said something on Blue Sunday, which was funny. He said it funny, but it was true. He said that no one's ever succeeded. There was no ball team, like a ball team that's won anything in the Gold Coast. Nobody. Nobody has ever won anything. And even Brisbane, when they were in the Gold Coast and they were the Brisbane Bears, they were shithouse. The only time they got better is when they went over to Brisbane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they were in the Gold Coast, they were a rabble, you know. So I think it's not a sporting state. Like, it's not like you don't go to Gold Coast for anything sport. You go there to go down to the theme parks. That's why you go to the Gold Coast. That's the only reason you go there, and the sun's out. And as soon as you get there, you feel like you're on holiday. I reckon that affects them.
You're spot on there, Mick. I think Gold Coast have got potential, and on list, their paper sounds pretty good. But every year, probably the last 4 or 5 years, the start of the season, Gold Coast have always been a threat, mate. They've always been pretty much nearly in flag favourites at one stage. So something's going wrong midway through the season, whether they just think, again, it's who cares. But, every year, the first, say, 7 to 8 games have always been quite competitive. They've won games. But for some particular reason, towards the end of the season, they tend to fall off. So whether that's something internally or belief, or maybe, it's reoccurring every year. So, again, football is above the shoulders. So, maybe it's mentally affecting them midway through the season. So, but, if they get it right, the Gold Coast, mate, they brought over Damien Harwick, obviously a premiership coach. You would have expected a lot more from the Gold Coast this year, but it could be an issue midway through the year, I think.
I want to go back to this incident, right, with Petrarca. I'll ask you, Liam, right? I reckon this happens 100 times on the ground every fucking game, right? That a play, and if your player isn't getting stuck into you for doing something wrong, right? So he's a young player, this bloke, or youngish player, younger than Petrarca anyway, right? Yeah. And Petrarca saw what he did was, because when you see the incident, man, he got caught. Like, mate, Petrarca has every right to go up to him and say, mate, what the fuck are you doing now? If he's worried about, like, the language you used and that, this is the world we live in now. But he's got every right as a senior premiership superstar, right? Norm Smith medalist, man. If this bloke's coming up to you and like, he's not doing it just for the sake of doing it. He's doing it for a reason. Now, this player's turned around and said, fuck off. I see nothing wrong with it. The media have made a big thing out of it, right? But what it does show is this disharmony in the club and the players on the ground. That's what this is showing me.
Yeah. Look, I think it's pretty easy to kick a man while he's down, and that's all what's happening with the Gold Coast. There's obviously been a lot of media chat about them the last few weeks about, what's been happening behind closed doors for them. And obviously, an example like that gets highlighted. Maybe the fact that, he came out and he went back and he kept going a bit. It was a bit much, but look, incidents like that happen. Full context, if you guys have seen it, he was actually speaking with Lombard before that stoppage, saying, I'm running here. He was speaking with Raul and stuff as well, saying, this is the running pattern. So he was a bit frustrated that he didn't listen and he got it wrong, and then ended up getting caught holding the ball. But then also footage after, 30 seconds later at the next stoppage, further up the ground, he actually gave the wave. He's like, hey, look, sorry, I actually went a bit too hard. But yeah, look, stuff like this happens. Yeah, was it a good look? No. I think it just gets magnified more because of where Gold Coast are at the moment. But yeah, look, it definitely wasn't a good look. But I believe if it had happened to any other team this weekend, you wouldn't have heard a story about it. They've just, media's just kicking their butts at the moment, which is unfortunate for Gold Coast. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. They're going to cop it, and it's going to be an interesting, off season for them. You know what I mean? Because I reckon there's going to be a few players that are going to leave. For sure, Ben King, big word about him wanting to go. Hawthorn, mate. I'm sure Carlton will approach him. You know what I mean? We got some money in the salary cap. I'm sure Collingwood will approach him. You know what I mean? If they're saying they're offering him 1.1, 1.2, I don't think that's a lot of money now these days, and not for a player of that quality. So he's going to be leaving. I reckon there's going to be a few others that might be on their way. They're already saying that the coach and the players don't get along. Who knows, man? But as far as Petrarca goes, I did see a message that Petrarca kicked it to an opposition player. Where did I see that? Here, Nick, and no one said anything to him. I mean, players make mistakes. That's not the issue about making a mistake. You know what I mean? And if you go to kick and you miss your player and they get it, so be it. The issue is a senior player, right? They've lost 8 in a row. You know what I mean? Whatever they've lost, they've lost all these games in a row. And then you get a senior player like Petrarca, as you said, he's probably disgusted with these players. You stand there, you do this, you do that. That's why they get Petrarca in there. Not only to the great player he is, they need his experience out there, right? So if he's telling young players where to stand and they're cracking it because he's telling them, that player should be sitting there. And if he's made an honest mistake, man, he should be sitting there and going, rightio, I'll be better next time. Next time I know where to stand, man. That's what I'm here to learn, man. Do you want to win fucking games? Do you want to win premierships? That's what good teams do, mate. They get stuck into each other, man, because they demand the best from each other. So I've got no issue with it. As you see, like the media just grab this and run and make it into a big issue. They highlight it. They show it. They make it. They expand it so you could see what he's saying and all of that. I mean, how many times would that happen during the game? So, yeah, man, get everyone push the like button. Come on, smash that like button and share, like, subscribe, do all of that. And then while you're there, go and get your tickets for the big live show. I'm going to talk to these boys at the bottom for a sec. Right, because you've already experienced it right now. You probably experienced it now for a few weeks, but definitely this week has absolutely smashed, as Mark would say, mathematical chance of making the finals. Now there's zero chance,
This will be interesting. This will be interesting. What does it feel like to be an absolute fucking rabble? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. Yeah.
You're asking
Don't
me
worry.
Both
Both of you at the moment, but don't worry, Mick. You're going to feel it soon, man. When this team starts falling apart. But
I've always said that, Mick, mate. What goes around comes around, mate. But look, it doesn't feel good, buddy. I'll tell you right now. I've never felt this way, to be honest. So, I've never felt this way, mate. And to be quite honest with you, I've never felt that I really just want the season to be gone. Regardless, look, I'll always be honest, and I'll always watch my team on the weekend, regardless of what position they are. But I know it's going to happen, and I don't know why I punish myself to do that, but I seem to just fucking do it. You know what I mean? So I don't know whether it's the passion that I've still got for the club, but it's not a familiar space that I'm in, mate. So I'm just looking forward really for the season to just be over and done with, and I can only look positive into next year, hopefully, and things might be a lot more better than what they're achieving this year. So it's not a really good feeling, man. Regardless if we won even a couple of weeks ago, it still doesn't change the way I feel. It's just really disappointing, mate. More about effort than anything else, and what potentially we could have done this year in some ways. I'm saying we're making finals, but potentially what we could have achieved in rebuilding some of these young kids, it's gone backwards. So looking forward for the season to be finished, man. But you might get that feeling in the next couple of years, Mick. You just don't know, mate. What goes around comes around. So you might get that feeling.
Yes.
Boom.
Liam, how do you feel? It's been a couple of years for you now that you get to this stage of the year, and I mean, you got no chance. What are you looking forward to? I suppose you're looking forward to just improvement and players. But I remember, like, when Carlton haven't got a chance to make the finals, it might be the last 2 or 3 games. You watch the game, but the win, it doesn't mean anything. You might get excited. You don't even get excited. You might just give it a clap at the end. But if you're not playing for something, like the only thing possibly you could be doing is not finishing on the bottom of the ladder and get that one there.
We're playing for draft picks, Rocco. That's the only thing we can.
I don't think it really matters. First and second doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. But if you're looking for a player, like say number 1 at the moment, and this is how it changes your way of thinking, that you want to end up on the bottom of the ladder. That's sad to say that because the year's gone already. So you might as well, pack your bags and say, let's get number 1. That's the way things are heading at the moment. When your team's not performing, you just say to yourself, fuck it, just might as well finish last. That's why I want actually Richmond to start winning so we can end up last.
Start winning too, yeah. Look, like Rocco said, I don't think there's too much difference between pick 1 and pick 2. I'd rather see us actually try win and actually try compete. The last 2 weeks I've not seen it at all. It's really frustrating. it's just disappointing, really. Senior team go out there and basically pack it in, not try at all. It's hard to watch. Yeah, you definitely lose interest as a fan. It's kind of like, why am I still watching? You know, we're last on the ladder. There's nothing to play for. Even if we win, it doesn't really matter. Like, even if we go and beat West Coast this week, it's like, yeah, right, but does it matter? Not really. I think this season's probably been the most frustrating out of the lot. You know, obviously 2024 was a tough one, 2 wins also, but different circumstances back then. Then last year, you know, despite finishing lower, it was not too bad. Like, and we were expecting to finish lower, but there was good positive signs. This year, I feel like it's been a massive backward step. I thought we were going to improve a little bit more again. We've not. If anything, we look worse. Make all the excuses that you want. The reality is it's a win-loss industry, and going from 5 wins to potentially 2 wins in a season, it's not good enough at all. So it's hard being a Richmond fan right now. Thanks for bringing it up, Rocco. Like I said, kick a man while he's down. That hurts, but look, it's pretty hard to watch at the moment. It's pretty hard to get motivated to go watch your team, because it's kind of like, what's the point? But in terms of tanking for draft picks, like what Mark was saying, I don't think we should do it. I don't want us to do it. I don't know why, but I was thinking of Survivor, like when they throw challenges. I hate it when people like try lose on purpose. It just So I'm hoping we go out there and finally start putting in a bit of an effort, but we'll see.
Have the Tigs cut too deep? Which meaning, did they go too hard on getting rid of players and that? Is this going to hurt your club, or do you think that it will be, like a good thing in years to come?
I do understand the question, and I do think it's fair. I'd say partially yes. Maybe we cut a few too many senior players early, but however, I think part of our problem has been end of 2024. We lost a lot of our senior players go out the door. You lose like Dusty and Dylan Grimes and someone else retired. Jack Rewalt retired. You trade out Bolton, Baker, Graham, Rioli. Yeah, it's obviously going to take anything. But then you look at the young talent that we've got through. One of the biggest problems has been we haven't actually had a chance to play all those young players together. I know, there's no real excuses, but injuries has played a part in that. I mean, like I said, you've only had Lawler and Houghton play now 2 games together in nearly 2 seasons. A lot of our top draft picks have played like less than 20 games in that 2 seasons, so less than 50%. So I think time will tell if we can get all that young core together and playing together, and they start performing and showing us that they are going to be that next winning team for Richmond, then I'd say we made the right decision. To be honest, for now, I still think it's a bit too hard to tell, but yeah, good question.
Yeah.
I'll ask.
Hey, Liam, sorry.
Yep, go. No, go.
I was going to say, a lot of my Richmond supporter mates are starting to turn on Uzo. Are you one of those people?
Yeah, I think I was similar the other week, but yeah, definitely. I think it's hard to back a coach again. Like I said, being a win-loss industry, he's had 9 wins in 65-ish games. It's hard to back in and support that. And again, I know there's probably some internal factors around as to why that is happening, but as I said, sometimes I struggle to see in the game plan. But also, like I said, with the last 2 weeks as a coach, I know it's going to be tough to get up and play games when there's not too much to play for, but to see the effort that we've put up the last 2 weeks of not really trying at all, that's really frustrating. And I think partly that's on a coach to, motivate and, fire up your players, get them ready to play games. I don't see that from him. I don't think he's a great game day coach. I've said it before, and I'll stick with it. I think maybe behind closed doors, he's building a good culture, and that's fair, but it doesn't come across on game day, in my opinion. And I think if we have a poor start to next season, it might be early curtains.
There's heaps of questions coming. I don't know what's going on with our chat, man. They're actually half intelligent tonight. Pretty good, mate.
And the Saints supporters
I,
are getting
I
me
will.
going.
I will ask. I will bring in, but I just want to ask quickly this one here. There's two questions I want to ask. First, I'll ask you two, right, or maybe even Mick for this one. No. Oh yeah, maybe Mick. I'll ask you about Richmond. Who's had the worst year? Richmond or Essendon? Who would, at the end of this year, who would you say failed? Well, can you fail more? I mean, once you fail, you fail. But is there a bigger failure, Richmond or Essendon?
Oh,
That's a hard one. Yeah.
see, because I want to say Essendon, obviously, because I don't want to bag my own team, but I think it would come down to the expectations that we had at the start of the year. I think I had a
100%.
finishing 14th and like a slight improvement, like maybe from 5 wins to 7 or 8. It would depend what sort of expectations Essendon had coming into this season. Maybe Mark got a bit more of an idea on that.
Yeah.
Mark,
I
you
I
answer this,
seriously,
right? Because you could say, and I mean, you can't be biased about this, right? You got to be honest about this, because this is what we do here,
Yeah.
right? Liam's right. It's about what your expectations and what you think your club could have done this year. That's how you know if you failed or you didn't, you know? So in
Yeah.
reality, are you bigger losers than Richmond, if that's the way to put it?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you boys. I think, yeah, Essendon, certainly. Because I did expect Essendon to win a lot more games than what we are at this stage of 2 games. With the list that we have, the young players and some older players, experienced players, I thought there would have been a bit more of a better mix, knowing that obviously a few injuries played a bit of a toll, but no excuses. Yeah, so, I mean, I expected Essendon to really be a lot better than what they have performed this year, to be quite honest with you. I thought this was going to be the year that was going to be a rebuild and we were going to show a lot of potential, and we've gone backwards. Honestly, we can't get any worse than, watching some of the games, mate. I've never seen teams play that bad. It's like watching a circus sometimes, and I just can't justify that in my head to see how can AFL players play to that standard. Simple errors. And that's why I feel that we're probably one of the worst teams in the comp at the moment. I think we Richmond are probably a bit more excusable due to the fact that they've lost a lot of experienced players and their coach is still relatively new. But I wouldn't say that they're 100% better than what we are at this stage. So yeah, it'd certainly be Essendon, Rocco.
And everyone agrees with you. Every single person has agreed with you that Essendon are more disappointing this year. But look, I didn't think you were going to make finals like you thought they were, but I thought they were going to win at least 5 or 6, maybe 7 games for the year. You know what I mean? To be fighting for the wooden spoon, you definitely.
I did think maybe the wild card, maybe just sneak into the wild card. To be honest, 10th is not really something to be proud about anyway, mate. You know what I mean? So. But at least be in that bracket of still, competing right now. Right now, we should be really competing top 10 with the Carlton Collingwoods, and the season was gone 10 weeks ago.
And you've also had some big, heavy losses. I mean, huge losses. Plus, you sacked your coach. I mean, You can't be more disappointing than that. You know what I mean? And I will, Slovo, I will get to your super chat. I'm just trying to put in that question at the right time. I can't be in the middle of a conversation about one thing and then just chuck in this weird question in the middle of it. I will ask Mark that in a second. But I'll quickly want to ask you guys then, is the wild card then a good thing, Mick? Because we're fighting for it, so I'll probably can answer that too. But I'll ask you first. Do you think that the wild card was a good decision? It keeps team alive. It keeps teams alive, right? It keeps the comp alive, and a lot more games have a lot more meanings right at the moment. What do you reckon, Mick?
Yeah, despite that, Rocco, I'm a traditionalist. If you had asked me the perfect system, I used to love the top 5, and I reckon it still should be like that. But I do understand the commercialism of the game. You got to keep teams interested. I am not a fan of the wild card. If we do make it, obviously I'm going to support my team and watch the game and go to the game if I can. But I'm not a fan of it because you've heard me say it before. It kind of rewards mediocrity. You finish 10th. Finishing 10th is not a successful season. It's a shit season, yeah? You've probably lost more than you've won. And, yeah, I don't like it. It's a commercial idea just to fill in that time. They'll advertise the fuck out of it. But it is what it is now. I think I'm just going to have to accept it, yeah? I'll probably grow to like it, but at the moment, it leaves a sour taste, and I don't like it.
Nick, being a traditionalist, mate, and I'll tell you, I'm always with traditional people, which is fantastic to be. But just your thoughts on this and the boys as well. There's obviously going to be 19 clubs now in the comp. They eventually need to have the 20 to make it equal, I'm guessing. So 20 clubs in the comp. Would you be kind of keen or interested in looking at maybe like a division of 10 and 10? And then each team plays each other twice, so you get 20 rounds, and then you have your traditionalist top 5.
Yeah. Look, yeah, that's.
And then maybe they can play each other again. They can play each other again after they've played maybe the finals, and you go like a bit of cricket.
I know what you're saying.
Okay?
Yeah. I would not be happy with that, man. And look, unfortunately, it seems to be going in that direction. I like how it was in the old days, man.
Yep. But there's more teams now. There's more teams now, and that's what's happening. There's a lot of teams like
too many teams. It's just too many teams.
Yeah, that's right. There's too many teams. Which what's happening is that half of those teams are possibly won't be making finals because there's so many more teams now. So to again, as an enterprise and commercially, build the AFL. If they did something like that, you're pretty much going to be guaranteed to play finals. You've got a 50-50 chance of playing finals, and everyone's happy in that way. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like to see that happening, but if there's more teams in the comp, you're going to get these teams like your Essendons and Richmonds and West Coast and Norths that are going to be missing out on finals every year, and might hurt the competition in the long run as well. So, just a thought. Come across again.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Rocco? No, Liam?
I don't like the 10-10. That's ridiculous. That's basketball conference. I don't like this shit because you don't play the other side. And what do you do? I don't like this conference bullshit. It's going to make them even more unfair. I think Lou said it. They're never going to play less than 23 games. They'll play more. They won't play less. So it's always going to be unfair. I don't know what they're going to do. They've almost painted themselves in a corner where there's no way out now. There's too many teams, not enough weeks. As you can see, their idea of bringing in the top 10, I don't like it either. I think top 5 isn't enough, Mick. Not anymore. I get what you're saying. I come from those days too. But it's just not enough. So I think top 8 was perfect. You know what I mean? The way it works is your top 8, you make it. Normally, you need to be top 4 anyway to win a grand final. To win it outside, I mean, how many times does it really happen? It doesn't happen that often. Of course, it can happen. You know what I mean? As far as the wild card, I don't like it, right? But it does keep the season interesting. They've achieved what they wanted to achieve. It does still keep the season alive. There's 4 weeks to go, and I mean, I'll bring it up the ladder. There's 4 weeks to go, and in reality, I mean, what is there? 4 games to go, 36. I mean, in reality, up to Gold Coast, massive chance. Definitely to 13th now. It's still a chance to make finals. North Melbourne, GWS, and Carlton and St Kilda are probably fighting for that top 10. Yeah. And in reality, it's probably just St Kilda and Carlton, I reckon. Maybe GWS, you know what I mean? But what's that?
Even statistically, Port could still make it.
Yeah, so they're going into games thinking you win every game. You get a few losses, and all of a sudden,
But if there wasn't a top 10, Rocco, and there was a top 8, those teams are gone. Those teams are pretty much nearly gone. Maybe
There was
Carlton.
only a top 8. What is it? Collingwood on 46. So Carlton 10 points down. They've still got a chance. And then you're probably looking up to about 11th, and then it'll be done. So they've added 2 or 3 extra teams still being alive for longer. So, it would have been hard. I mean, if it was top 8, yeah, there's a chance to make it, but really that means that Collingwood, Geelong and St Kilda have to lose every game and you win, but there's still a chance. But yeah, it's definitely would have been over for pretty much nearly every side, you know what I mean? So it has opened it up. It's kind of worked. I mean, yeah, as I said, I'm not a big fan, but if you make it, you'll play it, you'll get some experience under your belt for your players, play a final. You know what I mean, and all that, and then there's, you know what AFL does? I've said this: they sell hope. Teams sell hope. That's all they're selling. They're not selling you a premiership, right? AFL don't care who wins the premiership. They at the end of the day, in reality, clubs want to win premierships. Is it their bottom line is the dollar? Think about it. All your clubs, even Collingwood, all of them, man. If they're not making money. And they'll make money regardless if they win a premiership or not. But all they'll do is they'll sell you that hope every year. Everyone's got that hope. So they sell it to you. You buy it in the buckets. You make plenty of money, right? And then if you win a premiership, you win a premiership. But guess what? If you don't win a premiership, hey, you're playing next year. It's not like you get relegated or anything. Like there is and the AFL are doing the same thing now. They're just selling more hope for longer. Keep going to the games. Keep buying the merch. You know what I mean? We've still got a chance. You know what I mean? Oh, we sell, like, there'll be more viewers on TV. Like, think about that. They've got more viewers on TV because when you haven't got a chance anymore, less people are going to watch your games. You know what I mean? Like, this game now between
who's the game? Collingwood. Isn't Collingwood playing this week, Rocco? Isn't Mick going to talk about the Pies and the Cats?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a sec. I've got it all worked out, mate. We got it all worked out. Thank you for trying to jump ahead, but
I'm just looking at the time. I'm just looking at the time factor, mate. That's
I've got it all worked out. We're going to talk another 5 minutes. I'm going to get through some of these questions. I do want to talk about that. Thanks for $2.99. Slovo in the hub. He's back in the chat, Slovo. Who is more unintimidating? Not intimidating, unintimidating. Harry or Ben? Which one? So, in other words, who's even less imitating? Intimate. Oh, fucking hell, forget about it. I can't even say it.
Unintimidating.
Who's the weaker one out of the two, man? What do you reckon, Ben or Harry? I reckon it has to be Ben. Ben can't even get a game anymore on the bottom side. How do you do that?
Ben's Essendon plays, and I think I'll keep on getting confused with Ben. Ben plays for Essendon. He plays for Essendon. It has to be Ben, mate. It has to be fucking Ben, mate.
Ben intimidates me, mate, because he's got a big bank account.
That's the only thing he's got going for him, mate, and he's still got a contract for another 3 years. I don't know how the fuck that's going to go, but anyway.
No, that could be one of the worst deals in the last 20 years, man. To pay
we've made some silly deals. You know, we tend to buy players for millions of dollars, like, you know, Dylan Shield and Devon Smith, and, you know, it can just keep going on and on, mate. And we still don't succeed out of those players. So, yeah, that's where some of the issues are lying across as well, Rocco.
I was saying this about Harry. I think Harry's the better player, right? By far, I think he's the better player. He's, you know, like, he's done it more often. You know, he can play. You can see he's valuable in the ruck. He kicks goals. I mean, he won a Coleman and all that. So he's definitely the better player, I think, out of the. But he'll never be that tough player. It's just it's not in their nature. You can see it when they talk. You can see it, like they're 6'8", whatever they are, and they aren't intimidating. You know,
they're not physical, are they, Rocco? They're not really physical. No. I've been watching Ben, and, you know, around the ground, even not in the contest in some ways, and he just doesn't. It's like he doesn't run or he doesn't chase. He doesn't give effort. You know what I mean? I'm like.
They don't break packs, you know what I mean? Like, I would, if you're a big forward, man, you get into that forward line and you've got to get these players scared to be in front of you, man. The first time, you know, Tony Lockett, I mean, different sort of player, era and everything. If you stood in front of him, within the first 5 minutes, he'd run through you, right? And
Even
then for
Gary
the
Ablett.
rest of the game, you were worried that this bloke was going to KO you, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what you've got to do. Hey, Fourever was the same. Fourever loved the biff, man. He'd run straight through you. Players were scared. If they couldn't see him, they were scared that when he was running forward, man, he'll collect you. I don't think they've got that fear with the Mackay.
Yeah,
they haven't got
what
it.
What do you think they call Matty Lloyd the Velvet Sledgehammer? You know what I mean? There's reasons for why they call him that. You know, he was a pretty boy. Don't get me wrong, but I'll tell you what,
but he was tough.
He was tough. You stand in front of him, you know, and some of these older players, Lee Matthews, they don't have to be 6 foot tall, but mate, you'd be scared sitting in front of him. You know, so many old players out there that you'd shit yourself them coming through. You know, Jason Dunstall, Gary Ablett. Imagine Gary Ablett coming.
They were tough. Look, at the end of the day, they're not that sort of player. But you know what? Parents will be proud of them.
Yeah,
they've earned some good money, both of them, and they'll be set up for life, man. Seriously, they're done. All right. Mm-hmm. That was good. But what we're going to do, because Mick has to leave soon, and then we have got another special guest. We'll get to you soon, mate. He's hanging out to get on and talk about his side there. That's another I reckon the next person we're going to bring in, their side definitely doing a lot better than the two people at the bottom there. But what we will do is we will get into this one here, the footy round. And we'll get in because we've got about, how long we got? We've got about 10 minutes to talk about this rabble of a shit bloody toothless
rabble.
Yeah, you are a rabbles, man. Seriously, look at you.
Yeah, that's what a rabble does, Rocco. They go to Adelaide and fucking smash it. That's what a rabble does, mate.
You're still a rabble of a side. I would rather poke my eyes with hot fucking irons and then follow this. Look at them. They look ugly. Like even the top, everything looks disgusting. But anyway,
on, it's black and white, man.
What are you talking about? It's the most disgusting top in the AFL. It's just every player looks like they've just got out on parole, right? But anyway, you did go over there and you were 27 points down at one stage, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
And it did look like they were just going to run away with it. But then I don't know what happened. A bit of both, a bit of you couple of lucky, not lucky goals. There was a couple of good goals that kind of the one from the boundary that kind of just opened it up for a second, and then Adelaide shit themselves and Collingwood just ran over the top of them.
Yeah. What happened was in the first 45 minutes of the game, Adelaide's intensity was like off the charts, man. An Adelaide supporter that came on my show explained to me that was the highest pressure rating for the season in that first 45. They went absolutely nuts. They threw everything. And then they just died out. They could not maintain it. And they were probably just one goal away from, making it too far for us. But we weathered the storm. I'll put my hand up. Mate, I said, this game is over. We're gone here. Because we looked like we just could not get the ball outside of our defensive 50. But then something clicked. We got a couple of goals back, and then we just did not look back. And we ended up having our most impressive win for the season. And it was, a really just pleasing for once in a long time to just sit back on the couch in the last 10 minutes of the game to in the knowledge that we've won this, I can relax. I don't have to fucking shit myself like I've done nearly every game for the last 3 years. It was just a pleasing moment. But all that's going to mean nothing if we don't back it up tomorrow night, man. A lot of our supporters are jumping the gun a bit. We just got to kind of take it easy, concentrate on Geelong because they're going to be a formidable opponent. They smashed us early in the year, And I do have confidence that we can bring it tomorrow night. I'm tipping us to win by 32. But yeah, anything can happen. And yep.
What changed? I mean, I saw a couple of moves. I know you bag your coach. No one at Collingwood, especially the Magpie Army Chronicles, no one likes the coach there for some reason. You have got a little bit of a thing with him. But he did went and put Howe in the forward line, and he kicked the goal. You know, he kind of changed the dynamic a little bit just before half time. And then that's brought him back, and then he kind of like changed that dynamic. Yeah. What changed, and was it a good? Did he outcoach the Adelaide coach?
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not sure if he outcoached him. As I said, man, I think Adelaide was spent after putting everything into their intensity, and we just weathered the storm. And that move by Howe to the forward line, that didn't last long. He went there for like probably the last part of that second quarter. He kicked a goal, and then once we got the momentum back, he went back to the back line because without him in the back line,
that's a coach's move, man. That's like
it is. Yeah,
he had to do something just to change it because, as you said, man, you just couldn't keep that ball in that forward 50. I mean, you were bringing the ball in, man, and it was like that. You were bringing them in long. I mean, they were shallow or they just weren't right, and then all of a sudden. You had a bit of a lucky goal that was a good goal from the boundary. I think that's where it changed, man. That fucking goal changed it. And then Howe takes that mark, and all of a sudden you started looking a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. And he did make some other moves, like he put young Ed Allen, he put him directly on Dawson. Jordan Dawson only got 7 possessions in that second half. And Ed Allen got more than that. Plus, he kicked 2 goals in a row in that last quarter. Went into absolute beast mode. So that was another thing that changed the game. What can I say? Look, I got to give him credit, but at the same time, we've been in so many situations earlier on in the year where we were in winning positions, and I could name you at least 5 games where we should have won because we were up by 2.5 or 3 goals and we shit the bed. This game, we went on with it and won by a good 34 points or whatever. But all those other games were missed opportunities. And look where we find ourselves now. We're fucking 9th when we should be, knocking on the top 4. And we're finding ourselves in a position now where we're playing Geelong, Hawthorn and Brisbane coming up for the last few games, and they're must-wins for us to make top 6, where we shouldn't be in that position. So people can praise Fly for his match moves in this game against Adelaide, but that's the reason why a lot of us are critical of him, because earlier in the season, he's putting up signs to go defensive when we're up by fucking 3 goals halfway through the third. And then we do go defensive, and before you know it, the opposition team fucking hit the front and they win the game. So that's where our criticism.
Before you take off, mate, I'm going to ask you just a quick question if you can answer it or not. But I've been a bit skeptical about Collingwood's the age, the playing list that you guys have got. I think you've got about 13 players that are over 30 years old. And
Here we go.
Look, it's a serious question. I might have spoken to Manos about this. Just what your opinion is that you have got an old list going through. So would it be in your best interest to get rid of some of these players? You can still trade them for some value. I'll give you an example. So I think Essendon's looking at Jeremy Howe. Prime example, he's over 30 years old. He'd fit quite well in the Essendon defence with his experience. So you might still get some value out of him. Or do you feel that you're going to keep those players united going forward? And possibly, it might curse you guys in the long run. So it's just a question, would you continuously, I'm not saying get rid of the whole 13, mate, but, out of those 13, would you keep half or would you start trading or, just a serious question, what you might look at.
Look, out of the oldies, Jeremy Howe, don't even bother having those dreams of him going Essendon. He's not going nowhere. He's had an excellent season. He's going to stay. Pendles, is who knows? We don't know yet. He put in a very good game last week, but he's played also some dog shit games too.
So what's your opinion? Not about
my opinion.
Your opinion. Not he might stay or he might not go, but Jeremy Howe might not go. You might want to get rid of Jeremy Howe, but I know he will stay. But what are your thoughts on who you should you get rid of half of those players, or you should keep them, or
I would just get rid of Sidebottom. Tell him to retire. Look, at the moment, even though Pendle's had a good game, I would, I'd tell him to retire as well, but I'd keep Jeremy Howe.
Okay.
Because it looks like we're going to pick up Lockie Neal. He's going to be another oldie. We might pick up Hogan. So, we've got to get rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah. But Pendles and Sidebottom have been there long enough. I think they're due to kind of retire. They're 33, 34 years old. I'm talking about the players at 30, 31 years old that are all relatively close in age, which will all eventually retire in the space of 2 or 3 years. So you might lose 8 or 9 experienced players in one hit and not given the opportunity to the young players now. While those players have still got value in the market, because you've got an extremely a lot of them, would have been the best interest of the Collingwood Football Club to start trading half of those players and getting some still value to them, in the long run. It's more future to me than anything else.
Yeah. Look, no, because those players, AFL footballers can play till about till they're 35 now. We've got a group of players that are in their early 30s. Their output is still good, and I'd keep them on. We're in a position now where we're going to top up, but we're going to keep we're going to keep our draft picks unless we try and get Butters. That's the only one. If we go for Butters, we're going to give away our picks. But if we don't get Butters, we're going to get an injection of another 3-4 youngsters coming in. So and we've had a lot of youngsters play this year. There's this big misconception that Collingwood's old, but mate, we've given the youngsters a go, and some of them have shown some very good signs. Like you look at some of these players, man. Charlie West, Anderson, Harrison, Swadling, Ed Allen. They're all under 23 years old, mate, and they're all playing, they're in our top 23.
Your season now, Mick, really consists right now, because you've got some comments coming through that the boys have played some good football, or they're playing good football this year. So really, the last 3 or 4 games is really going to be the toll of where you guys stand, right? So if you guys go out, losing the next 3 or 4 games, would you be satisfied with where your position is this year?
No. And just because, as I said earlier, we had opportunities earlier in the year to win a lot of games. We shit the bed in all of them, and it's left us in this position. And if we lose tomorrow and we lose to Hawthorn and to Brisbane, then we're going to end up 10th or something. I will be very unhappy with the season. The only shining light will be that we gave a lot of kids a run. But apart from that, I would be disappointed. I won't be satisfied unless we finish top 6.
And that's my concern there with the Collingwood Football Club, Nick, is that the fact is that if you can't beat these teams now with those players that you have got now, those experienced players, if you can't beat the Brisbanes and the Geelongs and the Hawthorns now, that's what I'm referring to. Then what are you guys going to do to improve going forward?
Yeah.
You would need.
So I'm going to. Because he's got to go soon. We could talk like this for hours, but I reckon he could stay another couple of minutes. I'm going to say, Mark's got a point, and then he hasn't got a point, right? At the end of the day, you've got to do both. You've got to play the players that are playing well, and then you've got to be thinking of the future. Because what can happen, Mick, is you could keep all these players another year, and then it's too late, right? Yeah. And these young kids, like you're saying, we're getting these young kids, they're playing well. You take out those experience, and then all of a sudden the pressure on them, and then all of a sudden they're not playing so well, So you get a young kid who, plays well with old, like experience around him, and then you give him the main role. And of course it's going to be hard for him, I mean? They're not all going to be a Harry Dean, where he's at 18 can take the role, you know what I mean? Most young players can't do it. So you've got to think both ways. Who do you keep and who do you fucking get rid of? And so you've got to think both. Like, I don't believe you ever should, bottom out. You should always be fighting, But in the
Yes.
meantime, always thinking of the future. And if that means, hey, look, fucking Hawthorn got rid of Buddy and then won flags, you know what I mean? Just because, you know, they're premiership players and all that. Sometimes you have to do the hard calls and get rid of them just so you can, and then try to fill them in. The other thing with Butters, I mean, I know you're talking about getting Butters, and Butters is going to be the big conversation between all the clubs during preseason. Everybody wants him, you know. Where are you at? Like, if you get Butters, are you premiership contention? Because that's why you'll be getting Butters for, you know, for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? How much are you willing to pay for him? The other thing is, if you're going to get Butters, you're going to need to fucking draft picks, don't you?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what I said. That's the only way I
you have
think.
to start thinking who's worth it, who's going to give you value out of your club to get rid of, to get that. You know, like so for example, like a Pendlebury. What do you think you're going to get for a Pendlebury? Not much.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Trust me, we have the same conversation at Carlton, Mick. Like if we had to get rid of someone, who would it be that you would get that value for it? And then do you want to get rid of that player? You know, like it's going to be a big off season.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah.
But yeah, so you've got a lot. But at the moment, all you got is we'll just quickly give us your tip because that's who you've got this week.
Yep.
You got tomorrow night. You got Geelong. It's going to be a big game. Geelong look like they got a bit of form back last week.
Yeah.
Collingwood look. It's actually going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. And this one here, they've both got. This is a big game for both of them. For both of them. I mean, where are they? They're what do we got here? Geelong. Well, there you go, mate. 2 points the difference. They're both fighting for a top 6, man. They're both. There's going to be a big, a tough game. So, what'd you say? Collingwood by 32.
Yep, and my tip is Nick Dacos. He usually gets tagged by Mullins from Geelong, who's one of the rare players that actually really does a good job. But I'm going to say that Nick's going to break the shackles in this game, and he's going to get 30 goals and
30 goals.
30 possessions.
That's a big game.
Yeah.
Whoa.
30 possessions and 30 possessions and 2 goals. You reckon?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be. He'll definitely have an influence. All right, Mick, I know you got to go, but you got your show to do. You got your Collingwood and Geelong preview, and I think you got Lucas on there.
Yes, Lucas will be jumping on. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely.
Get on there. Thanks for jumping on. Go the
Thank
Cats.
you guys. Catch us later. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Hey, we'll probably see a lot more of you since the other Greeks over there in Greece.
Not a problem, mate. Not a problem.
Thanks, Mick. See you, mate.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye.
All right. That was pretty good. While we're there, we might as well get the next bloke in. We'll get father and son in. We haven't seen Jezza for a while. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good boys. How you doing?
How are you, Jezza?
Pretty good, man. We got one bloke here at the top here who's chance of making finals, and then you got another 3 here who are just waddling at the bottom of the ladder. You're actually, Jezza, probably West Coast is surprisingly doing better than all these, these 3 sides here, Richmond, Essendon. I think West Coast have been a little bit of a surprise this year, don't you think so?
Oh, definitely. I think we would have been a bigger surprise if we had got those couple of wins before the bye. I thought we dropped a couple of games against Port and North Melbourne. I thought we should have won those 2 games. We didn't, but we've been pretty competitive against the bigger teams after the bye. So there's good signs there that we're actually moving in the right direction. So I'm happy enough for that. I thought 6 wins would have been a pretty good year. We're on 4 and there's still 4 games to go. So you never know what happens. We could get 1 more this weekend.
Yeah, there you go. Percentage a bit low, 70, I suppose is not the best. But I mean, when you're losing a lot of games, what do you expect it to be? But as you said, I wouldn't have expected. Yeah, you're probably right. 6 would have been a good year. 4, I think. If you can get one or 2 more wins, it's not a bad year considering.
Well, not when you're coming off a 1-win season.
That's right. That's what I mean. And to tell you the truth, West Coast, they've actually been playing well. They've been playing some good footy. They've been really bringing it up to teams, you know what I mean? Some of your young kids have stepped up. So, yeah, you've actually been playing. If I was West Coast supporter, I'd actually be happy seeing the direction they're going in.
Yeah.
Jezza, can I ask you quickly, buddy, how you going?
Sure, yeah, good, Mark.
Who are the 4 teams that you guys have beaten this year?
So we've beaten the Giants, North, Port, and
Essendon?
the fourth one, Essendon, I think. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
So,
one.
yeah.
I want
It's a
to.
good win.
Around about where you boys are.
But
at the
yeah,
moment.
yeah, pretty much like yourselves, teams that were around. That's why I was a bit disappointed with Port and North because I felt that they're around us as well. So if we had got them two, it would have been pretty pleasing, all right. But we weren't going too good at that time. Our forward, Jake Walden, was just out of form at that stage, and he wasn't kicking goals, and he lost a bit of confidence. And the younger players just couldn't sustain it for a full game to be able to get over the line in them ones. So, and possibly they might have just got just a fraction ahead of themselves, thinking, okay, yeah, we've got these teams, because obviously we beat Port over there earlier on in the year for our first win of the year, and we might have got into that game on the home ground thinking, oh, we can do the same thing. But as you know, teams improve throughout the year, and you know, just because you're beating them once doesn't mean you're going to get them again. I mean, North Melbourne were belted by Fremantle, and then a week later they came back and got us pretty good. So, you know.
Yeah, interesting. There, we love Jake Waterman, yeah. Mate, that miss against
Some
North
people
Melbourne,
do.
I actually watched that.
Some
at
people,
the
yeah.
pub.
I think it might have been his brother, Jezza, that played for Essendon.
Yeah, Alec, he plays for Claremont now, actually. I watched him play on the weekend. He's still he's in good shape for a waffle player. He knows how to find the ball, played a bit on the wing, and you know, gets the ball up to the forward line. So he played well. He's still got a bit of talent.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah.
It's up on the wing. Whoa.
There you go. I don't know. Second cousin. There you go. Everyone's related here. I was gonna say, actually, Liam, you got your big game. We'll talk about that in a sec, right? The big, I call it big. What do we call it? We got to have a name for it. We've got to have a cup for you two. There's got to be a cup every year for you two. But have you got a question for your old
father and son?
Have you got a question for your old man? You did have something about some of his players or something you wanted to ask him or wanted to talk about?
I was going to ask you about a bit of commentary about the man, Harley Reid. Some people reckon the umpires are officiating him a little differently, maybe being a bit too harsh on him. What do you think? Is there any truth to that?
Well, actually, as I kind of knew this question was coming, so I've done a bit of research. So he's actually the number one player that's given away free kicks in the league this year. He's given away 66 free kicks this year.
Wow.
57 of them were warranted. 6 were questionable, and 3 was probably wrong. He's also the third highest player to receive free kicks for him. So the problem is, I think, and as a fan, and I obviously watch him a lot live, Harley's biggest problem is he wants to fend everybody off. So he's got nailed for holding the ball a lot. Okay. He also is a little bit lippy with the umpires. And as we know from past players, if you get a bit lippy with the umpires, they give you nothing. They have memories. They give you nothing. Whether it's there, if it's a 50-50, it's going to go against him more than it's not going to go against him. So there was a couple of instances in the game the other night where I definitely thought he was fouled really, really badly right in front of the umpire. Like he had his head pretty much taken off by Shai Bolton in the forward 50, and he got absolutely nothing. And I think that set him up for the rest of the night to be pretty pissed off about everything else. Gave away that stupid free. Lucky he only got a fine for punching the guy in the guts. But like it happens with a lot of the good midfielders, they get held all the time, scragging them in the middle, just putting their arms around them, letting go, arms around them, letting go. And as we said this a few years ago, Harley's biggest problem is his mental game is not as tough as it should be just yet. People know they can get under their skins. And if he reads the comments from the Fremantle player that played on him, that's exactly what he said. He said, I knew I was under his skin. He said, so when he punched me, he said, yeah, it hurt a bit. He said, but I knew I'd won the mental battle. So other players reading that will think, well, that's all we need to do. We just have to get under his skin. So is he being harshly dealt with? In some areas he is, but I think he's a victim of his own circumstance. He needs not to try and fend everybody off. At some stage, and I even yell it out at him, Harley, just do the first thing that comes to your mind. Handball or kick. You don't need to fight everybody off. You're not Dusty Martin. You're not that good yet. You have the potential, but you're not there yet. So just do the team thing sometimes. So that's it.
I think so. And I think with someone like Harley Reid there, I mean, he's in and under. So he's going to get a lot of kicks and he's going to give away a lot of kicks because he's in the, he's in the heart of the contest. That, of course, you're going to be involved in all of that. I also think with Harley Reid, like him trying to take on too much, I think he puts that responsibility on his shoulders. He knows he's the best player there. And sometimes, he's frustrated that you've won 5 games in 2 years. The kid's frustrated. He wants to win, you know what I mean? And sometimes I think, like any good young player, Cripper, he's sometimes been that same, under that same kind of blanket where he tries to take on too much because he's trying to bring the team forward. He's putting it on himself to do it. And by doing that, sometimes you cost the team because you're not doing the team things. Instead of laying off that handball, you know what I mean? You're trying to take on the pack, because you are big and strong. So I think that's his case. But look, he's a champion of the game, mate, and I think he's done well. As I said, I think you guys have done well this year, man. So you just got to keep moving forward. What do you reckon about the coach doing a good job?
He never comes out. He never lashes the players. He's always very positive in the public about his players and how they're going, and we're building, we're on the right track. So he says all the right things. I don't know what he's like behind closed doors where he gives people a bit of a serve or something like that. Maybe he does. He doesn't come across that in the media. I think with what he has at the moment, he's doing the best he can. He's got that mix of a very, very young, inexperienced team, and he also has a team that hasn't had a lot of wins over the last 4 seasons. So he'd be making sure, let's be realistic about where we're going. We're not going to go out there and build teams like, say, Brisbane or Geelong or even Fremantle and stuff like that. We're not going to go out and build those teams. But if we can stay with them for periods of the game and actually learn how they go about it, that's the learnings and the improvements they want to make. And I think they've done that this year. There's certainly aspects of the game where they've improved. Like their defense at the moment is down. Gibney's out, which is a really, really disappointing thing to have out. If he was there, I think we'd be going a little bit better. So we've improved in areas. I think we've identified where our holes are. We realise we do need a tall marking defender. We do need a bigger body in the midfield to help out with Harley Reid. The ruck, we got it right now. I think Williams has to be the first choice ruck. I read up after Flynn's game in the Waffle on the weekend. Although he had a lot of touches and he scored a few goals, the young fella Duff Fowler kicked 4 goals. So not bad for a 19-year-old who's only just started in the game. So there's improvement there. It's just getting them all working together, trying to keep that youthful enthusiasm under control so they don't do stupid things on the ground. The turnover game is still killing us. Like when we turn over the ball, we absolutely get crucified. Like against the good teams, they just score so easy against us. So that's probably something that they'll need to look at over the preseason is how did it stop that? How did it stop that rush where we get 5-6 goals kicked against us without even touching the ball ourselves?
100%. And I think we had that little bit of an issue at the start of the year. I think we've turned it around. I think we've been working on it for a while. And now, the turnover game is so important, man. So, but as I said, I think he's doing a pretty good job about that. Yeah. So before we move on to the other games, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about. Have you got anything you want to talk about in the AFL? We were talking about some of the rules again and the stand rule and what our player Lewis Young did by taking his kick all the way from the full back line and bloody wasting another minute. Any thoughts on any of those things? And before you go on, we did have Lana just come in and she walked out for a while and then she came in and she came back and thought Fags was on for a second.
I don't know if she'll be pleased or upset about that, but anyway.
That's good.
I'll
like
take it as a
that.
compliment. Maybe she thinks I know a lot about footy, so I'll go with that. Either that, she just
Hey,
thinks
you
I know
can't
a lot
dazzle
about
them with your
football.
knowledge of baffle
You
them with
actually
your
look like a
bullshit,
bit of a
mate.
coach, Jezza. You look like a bit of a coach, mate.
He
Yeah,
does,
yeah.
man. He looks
I
very,
think it's just the hairstyle and the glasses, Mark. You know, that's all it is. You know. No, but listen on the rules and that. The rule I don't like, and I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's brought any value to the game. Is the stand rule? It's a stupid rule.
Yeah.
I don't think it does anything to the game. Like to make a player stand there and the player taking the kick and run 5, 6, 10 meters around him, which is just not fair. I don't think.
It's ridiculous.
The rule I do like that some people don't like is the 6-6-6 rule.
Yes.
I think that's
great.
a good rule because I think when the game is close, you have to put your best players in that middle for that bounce. You have to have your team ready to go. And if that ball comes out of the center really quick, you've got to react. So I don't mind that rule.
Yeah.
It took me nearly all of the season so far to figure out what's going on with the last touch out of bounds. Because if you watch it now, players have started this tactic where they're handballing the ball when they're facing away from the boundary into the player's knees and foot to make it. I don't think that's fair. I don't think we should be doing that. And also on that, like I watched the game the other week with the Eagles. I can't remember who they were playing, but one of the guys punched the ball out from about 30 meters and it got called incorrect disposal. Like, okay, so it's not enough intent to keep the ball in play.
Insufficient.
If you look at the amount of time the ruckmen do it all the time.
Yep.
So what's the difference? You know, so I don't like that rule.
Going on the rules there, Jezza, and speaking about ruckman just then, what do you think about the nominating the ruckman? Do you think that's that should be abolished, or do you think they continue?
Yeah. I don't see the point. I mean, it's AFL. Just make it simple for yourself. 2 people throw up with the ball. If a third person goes up, so what? That's
what I've been saying. It's not hard, Jezza. It's not.
Fine, go for it. It's the same as standing on the stand. If you don't want to stand on the mark, it gives the other team an advantage. The other guy will think, "Oh, God, I'll just keep running now." So I don't think they need to worry about it. You know, it's
ridiculous. They make trouble for themselves. You know, they make issues for themselves by bringing out these rules. Like the ruck rule is simple. I've been saying this. 2 people go. Anyone can go for the ruck.
Yes.
The coach can go out there and go in the ruck. Who gives a fuck? But if a third person goes up, it's a free kick. Easy. And the stand rule, not only is it the dumbest rule they should sack Andrew Dillon and all of them, Swan, for bringing out this rule and bringing the game into disrepute because it's ridiculous. What happens is, like you said, you got a stand rule. Sometimes 2 players are standing because they don't know who has to stand. And all of a sudden, it's pretty much 18 on 16.
Oh.
You know, like that's not fair. How can that be fair? You know what I mean? So it's just, and this final touch rule, I think it's a good rule. But what it should be, if you handball and kick it and it goes out, definitely. If there's any sort of indecision where, it comes off, did it come off his neck? Throw it in. Just throw it in. It should be just handball or kick. That's it. That's it. Not now they go. See, now you're making me cough. Now they go to the fucking arc.
Oh yeah.
To look who touched
ridiculous.
it last.
Yeah.
Like what is going on?
You don't need that. I mean, just if it's undecided, just let the umpires throw it back in.
Exactly.
You
just throw it in, man. It's
and how far away is it that you're trying to get it out of bounds? I mean, players are smart enough. If they want to get it out of bounds by kicking it, they know where they're kicking it. I mean, you can see the players when they're doing it. It was all, you know, but now that it's a rule, that's changed. But I still don't like it.
Maybe the West Coast Carlton and Richmond players know where they're kicking it, Jezza, but Essendon, they don't know where they're kicking it, mate.
Jeez. You don't need to bag your team out. They'll do that for you, man.
He started to bag his own team out.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
It's been a long season. So.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
One more before we go into the other games, and we'll go into the other games, and then we'll go naturally into the big rivalry there. We've actually got a name for it. It is now going to be called the Mark Miranda Cup from now on between you two, right? The Mark Miranda Cup. One of the great Richmond and West Coast players. So we'll call it that from now on. What do you think about the top 10? Do you think it's a good decision now to have a top 10, keep the season alive?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people at the start of the season, I thought, geez, we're rewarding mediocrity. You know, how many people do we want playing in the finals and stuff that it has kept the season alive for a few of the other teams. There's no doubt about that. So the AFL will get a big tick for that. And yeah, we got this. It will all depend on who's fighting for those positions. Because pretty much, if you look at the ladder at the moment, I don't see anyone outside of the top 6 winning the premiership. Probably out of the top 4, to be honest. I still think it's between the top 4. So it's going to be
Adelaide,
good for
I don't think.
Get an extra final and stuff like that, get an extra game, all that sort of stuff. But I still don't see. All it does is just keep the season alive for some teams for a bit longer.
For an extra week, really.
Yeah.
When you think about it. It's for one extra week because then it goes to a top 8. You know, and you're probably right. Top 4 have got it, and then you've got Adelaide. I don't think can do it. Melbourne, I think they've had a really good year, but I don't think they can win it. Western Bulldogs the same. Collingwood, I don't think they're that good. They've kind of just they are where they are, about 8. I don't think Geelong can do it. Definitely St Kilda, Carlton, and GWS can't do it. So you're probably right. They're just extending it for another week, and that's all they've done.
I think so. I think Brisbane are just hitting some good form at the moment. Sydney are the one in the top 40. You're not really sure where you're going to get it. I don't think they have been playing like a top 4 side. They've just been winning. They had a couple of good wins at the start of the year, but they haven't been great the last month and that. Fremantle are obviously in great form. If they get the 2 home finals here, they should play off. I think, from my perspective, I think if Fremantle don't play off in the grand final, I would see it as a failed season, to be honest. Yeah. They've been that good. They've got a really good 100%. Team. They've got everything in place. They've got good forward structure, backline solid, midfield solid, ruck is consistent. I think one of the problems they're going to have is who are they going to play in the ruck? Are they going to go with Darcy? Are they going to go with Cox and
Jackson?
Yeah, you know, so
well, Jackson's definitely the one.
Darcy, I think, because if they're playing against a team that's got a bigger bodied ruckman, he'll be okay with them because he'll be able to body them around the ground. Jackson is good at jumping and stuff like that, so he'll probably be good in those. But if they come up against one of the teams that's got a big bodied ruckman, they're going to need Darcy because he's that bigger bulk, old hulking sort of ruckman. He's not the big flashy guy like Jackson's got a lot of speed. And then when he goes forward, he can convert a bit better than Darcy. So the only problem I have is if going into games, he has been a bit suspect with injuries and stuff like that. So I think they're leaving him as long as they can just to make sure that if he does come in, that he can stay in the games. But if he was to get injured again this year, I reckon that would be it. They won't pick him again.
Yeah. So I think Jackson's second best ruckman going out there at the moment behind Gawn. I just think he's kicking goals, he's doing everything. But you're right, it's between Cox and Darcy. Cox is actually doing okay. I think they're preferring Cox at the moment. Well, they are, aren't they? But you're right, it's all depends on who they play. I think it's going to be depending on who they play, who they're going to pick. But I can't fathom that Cox could be a double premiership player, dual premiership player with 2 sides. He should have been deported, right?
Yeah.
But instead, he's going to be a dual premiership. He could be dual premiership player with 2 clubs. Like that's my God, that I can't do it. And just quickly before I get the other sides. It's very unlikely. But what if a 9th and 10th position win and won the grand final? But this is by the great Enzo Valentino. How ridiculous would that be rewarding the mediocre team who lost more games than won during the season? And this is what you were saying, Jezza. Like, you're just rewarding this now. Like, you could go into the finals losing more games than you won, and then for some reason have an amazing, like 4 weeks in the finals or 5 weeks, and teams could get injuries and that, and all of a sudden you win it. Now, of course, you take the win and it'll be a great win and that, but
is it a worthy win?
It's still worthy because you've won it. Yeah, the Bulldogs did it by 7th.
I think done it from 7th. But that was the first year that they had that bye before the final started. They brought 3 players back in and they played against the Eagles in their first final. They absolutely smashed the Eagles.
They did. I remember
Absolutely
that.
smashed it. And they went on 5 weeks of perfect football.
Yeah.
One of the best
And they just got
finals.
it done.
One of the best
Pretty much.
finals performances by a team. You know, they
Yeah,
had
yeah,
4
absolutely.
great finals. I think the other one was Brisbane when they did it, and they won their 4 finals.
The first one, yeah.
And at the start of the year, they were almost fucking like 1 win after 5. I mean, that was one of the great performances too. So, look, it's always going to be a great win. Don't get me wrong. You can't rain on people's parade if it happens. But as you said, man, you want to reward the top sides, man. That's it.
It's not happening. Like 10th position right now is St Kilda. St Kilda haven't beaten the side ahead of them all year.
Yeah. Exactly,
and they get to play a final. Stupid.
Exactly right.
Not like it.
And you're just rewarding that, you know what I mean? And then, anyway, it's very interesting. It's going to be, look, we'll see what happens in the finals. And as I said, it's unfair 7th to 10th anyway. They don't get their break anymore. If 10 beats 7, right? How unfair is that for 7? They could be like 3 or 4 games in front during the season. Like they could, and then all of a sudden they lose.
They're out.
Right? To 10th. And 10th just had a good week. The week after they get smashed by fucking whoever they're playing in 5th spot or whatever, you know, and it's just anyway, there was a couple of games. Chat's going mental about this. I don't know about this wild card. I don't like it, but since we might get there, imagine Collingwood and Carlton. That could happen. Collingwood Carlton first wild card game. That'll be fucking huge, mate.
The AFL, mate, will be praying to any god they'll believe in for that to happen. You can imagine that game.
There might
be massive.
There might be some. We need to beat Brisbane. Really, there might be some unfair decisions being made this week, just to get Carlton over the line. I reckon.
Bit of corruption, you reckon, Rocco? Bit of corruption, eh?
Man, I wouldn't put it past them. Who's more corrupt, the fucking FIFA soccer or the AFL at the moment, man? I don't know. I reckon they're on par, them two, man. But then what we did talk about. Yeah, exactly. We did talk about Collingwood, that filth beating Adelaide last week, but there was also another good. I thought this was a good game. Carlton and the Suns, we beat them by 13 points. Look, I thought we played a good game. What I liked about our game was the youngsters all stood up. Byrne is, mate, we love this little kid, man. He's everything we wanted in a small forward, you know. He's gutsy, he tackles, he kicks goals. You can see the passion. Jagger Smith, I think now is going to be rising star, and so deservingly. He's actually had a really good year. We keep forgetting that this kid came off an ACL and missed a whole year in his first year, and hasn't really missed a beat this year. Hasn't really missed a beat, man. He's going to be good. There is some suspect on his kicking. It's not elite like it should be, maybe, but apart from that, he's been a star. Harry Dean, toughest player in the AFL, or close to. As far as a 19-year-old goes, mate, this kid, man, when he went up to that Suns player after he did something, I think it was to Dirksen, and he went up to him and just chested him and pushed him around as a night, mate. I'm so wrapped. So kids are playing well. We were challenged throughout the game. They kept hitting the lead, kicking 3 or 4 goals, and we kept on responding. And in the last quarter, they kicked the first 3 goals, hit the lead again. Under Voss, we would have lost that game, but they responded again. So I like the way the Blues are playing their footy at the moment. I think where we are, 10, 11, I think that's where we are. That's where we are. That's our team. Like, I don't expect anything more. I probably was saying that we'll be fighting for the top 10 this year. And that's what we're doing at the moment. I think that's where we are. Good young kids coming in next year, pick up, like Walker and get a couple of plays. Maybe look for a big forward. I think we need another forward. We definitely need a forward. Yeah. I think we're doing all right. So, I
mean, they're teams that, regardless, I think, and I believe it, where you guys are on a ladder, or where any other team is on the ladder, that they've got to win those games. You're playing Gold Coast. They're not playing good football.
100%. 100%.
You're playing at home. It's just very similar to the Essendon GWS game. Regardless of where you're on the ladder, they're the teams that you need to beat at home against interstate sides. So it was a good win for Carlton, but
it was a good win, man. I'm telling you,
they should have won anyway, regardless of where they should be on the ladder.
I was right to, and like just with you guys, like for example, West Coast or Richmond and Essendon also, you should, if you want to improve, you should be beating the sides around you. That's what you like. I think we're probably the best side out there and the most potential in the bottom 8. I think where we are, I think we're the best side in that bottom 8, at the moment. And we are beating those sides around us, So I'm happy. We haven't got a coach yet, but that's coming along good. I like the process. I like what they're doing. I like the candidates that they're looking at. I like it. And I think we've got some good young kids coming through. Cowan really stepped up, important in our back line, you know what I mean? So, as I said, in the middle, you got like you've got Jagger Smith, coming through, and then the forward you got like, you got Burnt. So you got these young kids coming through. There's a couple of kids in the reserves that look like they're ready. Oh, Billy Wilson. Billy Wilson's another one, mate. Like this kid here can play footy, man. Like I'm loving his game, man. He's run and carry, and Voss was not giving him a chance. I can't believe he was not giving him a chance. He'd play him one game and then drop him. Play him one game, then drop him, right? As soon as he left, they put Billy Wilson in, man. He's just, I reckon they've said to him, listen, just play your game. You've got 4 or 5 weeks. We're not going to drop you. Just play, just have fun, go out there. And he's showing it. He's showing it. He's huge for us. I love him. He's becoming one of my favorite players, Billy Wilson, and he's exactly what we needed. And this is by just giving these young kids a go. Just giving them a go, man. Giving them some like responsibility, making them earn their spot, and also selection integrity in our side, Hey, guess what? Zach Williams, $1.4 million this year. He can't get a game. That's good. I don't care how much you get paid. You can't get a game. Sard, guess what? Can't get a game, even though he's getting 25 in the reserves, because it's time to look for the future. Under Voss, Sard and Williams would have been playing all year, because all he's looking for is, can I get a win this week, You can
also give credit to Carlton as well, Rocco, even though I hate, I don't really enjoy watching Carlton or listen to him, but you've won what, 8 out of the last 10 games?
Yeah, 8 out of 10. Yeah, 100%. Man,
that's a pretty,
from what we've
really good effort. That's. I mean, I wish we were in that situation, but 8 out of the last 10 is pretty good football, mate. When you really think
100%.
about it,
100%, and some good wins in there. GWS and Port over there, Geelong, Doggies. You know what I mean? So. And then there was a couple of close. I mean, against Collingwood, everyone says against Collingwood. I don't think we played that bad against Collingwood. They weren't that great. I think we held them well, and you see what they did against Adelaide. So we're doing all right. There's still a lot long to go. We got Carroll to come back, who's going to be on the wing. And he got injured, so that was a big loss to us. But we're looking for a winger. We need a good winger. We need a forward. As I said, Cody Walker's coming along. He's going to be a gun. It'll take. I don't expect him to set the world on fire next year, but he's going to be a future. You can just see it in the way he plays his game. So yeah, all good. That's it. Blues are doing all right. They may be happy.
One question for you, Rocco.
Yeah.
So obviously you're looking for a coach. Would you be happy if Fraser said, "Yeah, I want to do it now," or is it too late?
No, I'm happy. If he's going to go through the process.
Is there any reason why he's not committing?
I think the reason is, I think it's simple. He's the caretaker coach. If he comes out and says, I want the job, right, and then fails, he looks like an idiot. But if he comes out and says, like, I'm just here for the team, I'm just here to do my best, I'm just interim coach and that, you know what I mean? And he does really well. Well, it's a win-win situation. But if he does really bad, hey, I'm just interim coach here, right? So I don't think he's I think he's done it very smart. You know what I mean? I think he's going to go through the process. I like what he's done. Of course, we all like what he's done. And I just want a Fraser type of coach. Now, if that's Graham, or if it's Fraser, or if it's Kelly, whoever it is, I want that type of coach. Someone who's a modern day, tactical coach who's looking to the future. What's the next tactic? What's the next game plan that's going to win a premiership? He seems to be good with the young kids. He's letting them play. You know what I mean? He seems to be good with the older. He's good in his press conferences. I like it. You can tell a lot by how they act in their press conference. He's very confident the way he doesn't hold back. He tells you exactly what's happening, So, yeah, I would be happy if he's Owen. But apparently Graham is a front runner. Apparently he's a really good coach, and he's had a couple of interviews, and apparently he's the front runner. So we'll see what happens.
So
we'll see what
he's
happens.
in for both of the vacancies at the moment, apparently.
Yeah,
I was
well,
gonna ask about him, Joe.
So, who do you reckon will go first? Like, because obviously, same for you, Marco. Solomon's obviously is gone. Not really sure. He's more on the side of saying, "No, definitely don't." Do you think that Essendon and Carlton will have to make a decision, or someone will make it for them? You could miss out on someone. Like if, say, Carlton say, "All right, Fraser, we need an answer."
There is that.
To our next best target, which is Graham. If it's not going to be you, we really want to push for him, because if we don't, Essendon might say, "You know what, we're not going ahead with what we want you as well." So, what do you reckon, Marco?
Well, look, I think we're at a process now. I think we're probably a couple of weeks away from actually making that decision on who's going to be coaching the Essendon Football Club. So, as for Solomon, I mean, if he's looking at going through that process, he's going to have to do it quite quickly. But he's at 50-50 chance. I don't think he's committed to taking on the job. I believe he's probably content to still be assisting as opposed to going for the job itself. So that's my thought. But I think in a couple of weeks' time, mate, we're certainly going to be making that decision on who'll be coaching the Essendon Football Club next year.
Yeah.
Are you still hot on Hurd coming back?
Yes. I'm still in favour of James Hurd. If you want a little bit of extra kind of information, I'd be happy for Jimmy Hurd to take on the coaching, and Mark McVeigh and Dean Solomon as his assistant. So
funny, that's why I'm asking. I actually read something about that today. So just listen to what Rocco said before, and he's talking about modern day coaches and stuff. That are you concerned that Older Herd's been added a coaching game for so long?
Having those assistants, I think I think for him to get the job, I think he needs that assistance of a younger coach to help him through the process of keeping up with the modern times. So I just feel James Hurd as being a leader and so forth at the club. I think he just needs to coach the club. And I've said this 1,000 times before. I think it's more about the culture than anything else at this point. So whoever's underneath him will be very, very crucial in moving forward. So, but to get this club united again, I think Jimmy Hurd is the key for that. As for a modern day coach, no, I don't believe he's probably suited for that, but my direction is going that way. So that's my opinion.
Do you think Essendon, because obviously Essendon love Essendon people, do you think they would say, let's appoint Hurd as the coach, but more to bring the unity back to the club, but let's put people around him and actually have an understanding of where the game is at the moment from a coaching respect with those modern day assistants and stuff like that? Because as I agree with your point, I think Hurd would be a good choice to get Essendon back to where it should be as one of the big proud teams in Melbourne and stuff like that. Obviously, he's been out of the game for a long time, and I think the coaching landscape has changed dramatically in the time he's been out. The game's changed, the rules have changed, all that sort of stuff has changed. So I would think he would struggle to actually be able to coach in today's game. But if he gets a couple of good assistants around him, that might just work. I think. Do you think you'd like appoint him just as almost like a figurehead as such, or do you reckon that would work, or would people see through that?
So before you go, Mark, Bojack makes a good point. I mean, they keep saying it. They want Essendon people. It doesn't matter how good they are. They could be dog shit. As long as they get Essendon people, that's a terrible mentality. That's terrible, man. Like you've just cut down your circle because all you're looking at is if that's your mentality. I don't know. I don't know how you can agree with that. And one more thing before you go and answer his question, right? If you need assistance to make you better, I'm a bit worried. I mean, you have to be head coach. Yeah, you got your assistants there. You know, of course, you need good assistants around you and that. But if you're first, I mean, we had that problem with Voss. Oh, we've got to get assistants to help him out. Well, we need fucking Simpson to come in there and help him. Like, wait a sec. You're the senior coach, mate. Like your assistant should be there to help you, not to make you better. I don't know. To me,
look, it's a hard question to answer, Jezza, as well in that concept. But I do understand where you guys are coming from. I'm looking at it as we haven't been at this lowest point before. So I can understand, Rocco, you're saying, James Hird, he's cooked, he hasn't been in the game, I get it. If we were, 100% in, say, a West Coast situation or even a Richmond, I'd probably look at things a bit differently again. But to me, at this stage, what's happened to the Essendon Football Club the last 3 or 4 years is a shamble, mate. And we have had coaches that haven't been part of Essendon, Matty Knights, Brent Rutten, Scott. Nothing's changed. So whether that's the way the Essendon go, that's the way the club goes. They like to keep within their own, players or whatever the case may be. Maybe that's their philosophy. Kevin Sheedy obviously didn't come from Essendon. He come from Richmond, but he's been a loyal Essendon coach for 25 odd years. So I don't know if that's our brand, but to me, I think moving forward to get this culture back to where it's supposed to be, and even if it's for 3 years, it's going to be a lot better than what we're doing at the moment.
It could be worse. You're going to finish possibly 18th. It could be worse. Tassie comes in, you could end up finishing 19th.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, Rocco, then there's nothing much more I can really do and say. You know what I mean? Like, it's my opinion, guys, and there's a lot of us other Essendon supporters that are out there, and I know a lot of them that will come up to him and say, "Hey, Marco, what do you reckon, Jimmy Hird?" And I'm thinking, should I say yes or no? Because what's the argument going to be about? And most of them are saying, just put him in. What have we got to lose? And I'm like, I know what you're saying, but you've got to also look into the process as well. So that's what I believe, mate. If he comes in, I believe he would make some changes. Don't get me wrong. I believe that he'd be the type to say, if you don't want to play for this club, you'll make a stance, then you're out. And that's a step going forward.
I agree with you, Mark, and don't get me wrong. I kind of get what you're saying, right? Like, you're already fucking the lowest as you can be, right? But you got to be careful in saying, how much worse can we get? We'll just get him in. I mean, you got to be careful about doing that.
Yes.
And if you're getting James Hird or any coach to come in there and say, if you don't want to play for Essendon and get it, well, you've got the wrong players anyway.
Yeah.
Look, I don't get players.
I'm saying as a supporter base, I don't think it'd come across it like that. He's obviously got a smarter IQ than what I've got in some ways, but you get where I'm coming from. As a passionate,
I get you.
I'm saying like this was what I would say right now, because that is exactly what I would say to the players if I was the coach. Yeah, me.
Yeah,
personally.
I think we would all say that. But as I said, for me, you got to get. It doesn't matter who it is. You just got to get the best possible person, and I'm worried. I'm not worried because, as Bojack said, stuff him, get him in. The rest of the league will thank you.
And you know what, Rocco, you've got to look at it also like this, and it's not looking at it as a bad way, but say for instance they do choose another coach. This saga is going to keep going. Yeah,
of course.
Oh, you should have had James Hird. He would have done a better job.
Unless you succeed, you're always going to have.
Correct.
Unless you succeed, there's always, like, just so for example, if we don't succeed with the next coach, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go, you should have got him. You know what I mean? Like, You know, oh, you should have got him. I know, I understand that, but I'm just.
I think you're in a
that,
different process than what Essendon is.
At the moment, we are in a different process. But it's always, of course, if it doesn't succeed.
Like an example, what if, say, for instance, your next coach comes aboard? You know, it's been a good 30 odd years, Rocco, since you've won a flag, mate. Right, so you've got to look at it in this concept as well. What if they do nominate another coach? He's not part of Carlton, and in the next 5 years, you guys just pretty much stay where you are. You might look at it and say, we need a Carlton, we need a Kernahan.
No, I don't think they will, because the point is, man,
you might change your thought.
As long as you do the process right and it doesn't work, and then along the way you keep doing the process right, that's what it's about. As long as you get the best possible at
your process hasn't been working for the last 30 years, Rocco.
I understand that, but I'm saying now that's all you can do.
Correct.
You can only get the right process and get it right. But to say something like, oh, we'll just get him in, what else have you got to lose? That is the wrong mentality.
No, but I've got
because
to.
What you've done is you've just taken away everybody else that could have possibly gone for it. So all we can do now is go for the right process. We're changing people. We're changing, and we're going to do it. I tell you what, 17 out of 18 times every year, it doesn't work for those teams. It only works for one team. You know what I mean? But as long as you see process, at the moment, I think we're doing it right. Just quickly I'll just answer Jez's question about will they make a decision. Being two sides that are now looking for a coach, I reckon it does push the teams into making a decision quicker than they would have normally had to. So if there was only one team, you can wait till the end of the year because there's no other really coaching positions unless someone gets sacked. But now that there's two, I reckon it will push either Essendon or Carlton to make a decision quicker than they would have normally. So, you know, like if they really want Graham, for example, if it's Fraser, if they're going to get Fraser, let's be honest, they can wait till the end of the year. Fraser's not going for any other job, right, at the moment, right? But if it's Graham who is going for like two jobs, yeah, they've got to think about, you know, like where they're at. I mean, Graham, if they're worried that he's going to, if they really want him and they're worried that he's going to go to Essendon, they're going to make a decision quicker than they normally would. So we'll see what happens. We'll find out in the decision. Exactly right. That's how I say it. Wait till we get our merch coming out. That might be coming out.
Just enjoy it. It's a great way.
I love it. That's all. I can't do nothing. I'm a fucking dumb wog from Reservoir. What do you want me? You're the dumb ones for listening to me. Anyway, there was another game here.
Oh, geez.
Oh, God.
No, hold on. It wasn't 132 it was 132 to 139.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I think we forgot the one. There you go, mate. 90, what is that? 92, 93, 92 points. 90, or what is that? 92 points?
93.
Whatever it was. 93 points. So, yeah, it was pretty much a smashing from front to back, man. Yeah, you just went backwards. As I said last week, you got your win. I mean, they missed a lot of chances, but you got your win. But this week, I mean, a team like Houlihan, I'm telling you, they're going to be right up there. They could possibly win the premiership this year.
Yeah, most certainly, Rocco. I did watch the game, but there was no surprises there at all. And I had a predicament they were going to get done by 90-odd points. So, look, the sad thing about it is that midway through the second quarter, we were 2 goals down. And within the blink of an eye, they kicked 8 goals consecutively. And that's what's been happening with Essendon all year. They don't know how to stop teams with that momentum. It's not 2 or 3 goals, 4 goals, even 5 goals as the teams get their momentum. I'm talking about 9, 10 unanswered goals. Game is over by halftime. Obviously, you know, maybe junk time, they might kick an extra 2 or 3 goals. And you tend to think, oh, yeah, this guy's all right. You know, kicked a couple of goals, whatever the case may be. But as you were saying before, Rocco, team selection. And whether it's the coach or whatever the case may be, but I just don't understand why they would bring Mackay back in. I seriously don't. I thought when you put a player back in the resis, you do that for them to get some form going back into the AFL. In the reserves, he had, I think, 11 possessions in the reserves, mate. A $1.2 million player having 11 possessions in the reserves. Now, he should have smashed everybody on that ground, being a seconds player. Comes back into the team and has 2 kicks. How do you work that out? And that's been going on all year. It's not like he's had a great game and he's back down on form. Team selection, another one. Cox, again, been on the list for the last 6 or 7 years. Kicked 7 goals in the Rezzies last week. All right, give him an opportunity. He's had opportunities all year. He's just not to AFL standard level, mate. He'll kick 7, 8 goals in the reserves. Good on him. Keep him as a reserves player. We might win a flag in the seconds. But again, I reckon that was the wrong decision. Although he kicked 7 goals, I still believe that he should have kept on staying in the seconds for the next 2 or 3 years and see if he still kicks the 5 and 6 goals. Bad selection. Another one. Look, I love him as a player, Westerfield, but I think the game's gone past him now. You know, another player, experienced player, coming into the seniors and all of a sudden doesn't perform. And another player that I've been puzzled about why they continuously put him in is Blackinston in Iraq. A young guy by the name of Vicentini, first year in the system, playing seconds, come back from an injury 4 to 5 weeks, and he's been killing it in the Rezzies. Young kid, why wouldn't you just play him? Again, another team selection. So very disappointed that those players were selected this week, or last week, sorry, and none of those players performed at all. So that was very disappointed. Obviously, no, Brian did hurt us. He played a fantastic game against GWS the week before. He was starting to get some form, gets injured. Obviously, Roby had a bit of a knee knock, so I was quite scared thinking that he might have done his knee and might have been gone for the next 12 months. So I was really concerned when he went off, but good news, he should be okay. So, again, no surprises. Essendon Football Club played a great game the week before. I thought at least be competitive against the Hawks. Even if we went down by 5 or 6 goals, I would, strangely to say that I'd be happy with that. But with a blink of an eye, mate, I couldn't believe it at the end of the game. We went down by 93 points. 93 points. It's becoming like a regular. Well, it is a regular occurrence. But when you sit back and look at it and go, we just got done by 93 points in the modern era game that's going on at the moment. So it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable, guys. And this is why I'm feeling like this every single week. It's not acceptable, but there's not much more I can do, mate, but sit back and still trying to support the team, and hopefully things can improve from here onwards. But, not a good performance from this club.
Nah, definitely disappointing again. And it's going to be, I think, a long 4 weeks now coming up, just waiting for the end of the season, man. Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to watching the Rezzies, to be honest, and the women's. I don't mind taking my daughter to go and see the women's, which starts, I think, the first week of August. So I'll be taking my little daughter to go and watch the girls at Windy Hill playing.
Next week, I think the women start, and I think against St Kilda we have St Kilda Carlton women's before the game, before the seniors game starting. So it starts next week. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Any questions, Jezza? Are you always one for a question?
I just got one question for you, mate. And I think this kind of happened with the Eagles a few years ago. Do you think maybe, obviously at the end of the year, Essendon's going to have a look at, and they're possibly going to lose some senior players, probably Merritt, maybe Parrish, maybe Ridley and stuff like that. So do you think they're trying to protect the younger players in the VFL not coming in and going through those beltings? Because if you look at the Eagles a few years ago, I think we got belted by like 170 odd points by the Swans. And a lot of the players that were in that game, they were so devastated. Those young players were thinking, man, I don't want to be putting up with this crap every week. Do you think maybe there's a bit of preservation, thinking we don't want to expose them all to the teams at the moment because we're not going to win. We are potentially going to get belted every week now for the next 4 weeks, maybe depending on who we're playing. Do you think they're just trying to save and saying, all right, we'll start off next year fresh. We'll bring you into the senior team slowly, a new coach, new possibilities and stuff like that? Or do you think it's just bad selection panels?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Just a good question there. But sometimes at some stages during the year and even last year, we haven't had a choice. with some of the injuries that have occurred, we've had to actually put these young players in the system, which is, I believe is a good thing in some ways. But yeah, as you were saying, it could really hurt a young kid knowing that they're going out there every week getting smashed. Whether that's a learning curve for them, I don't know. But I'm a firm believer that if your seniors are not performing, start the rebuild process now. So, start getting them on the list now straight away. So there's obviously a give and take on both prospects on it, Jezza. But yeah, I'm a firm believer if the seniors are not, the senior players are not performing, then give the young kids an opportunity while you can.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right. I think, the three of us that are down the bottom will all share the same thing. We get scored against heavily in periods of the game, and that's it. It's just over. It's just over. We just cannot respond to it. Like the Eagles went goalless in the last quarter against Fremantle the other night.
Yeah.
You're not going to win any AFL games.
And the thing is, just years ago, you'd look at it, and especially, coming from Essendon, if we were down by 6 or 7 goals at half time, I used to sit back, and Rocco would probably be the same concept. You'd look at it and go, 6 or 7 goals, all right, we're getting done. But you'd have that belief that you'd say, you know what, if we outscore them in the third quarter, even if it's by 2 goals, we're only down by 4 goals. And there's still another quarter to go. We could win this game. And 9 times out of 10, you'd have that confidence and go, see, I told you we'd come back and beat them, because you got that belief that you can still win. But Essendon at the moment, if we're down by 7 goals, there's no belief. It's done. It's over. We won't get done by 7 goals. We'll get done by 80 points.
Yeah.
So that's where it needs to change, because we can compete if we've got our heads screwed on and it's above the shoulders. We can compete. It's about having that belief. And once we can crack that belief and consistency, I think, hopefully things can change.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of issues with Essendon. I mean,
a bit low below.
I mean, it's not just players; it's game plan. You know what I mean? It's all of that. You haven't got players. You haven't got the right players. And I agree with
recruiting.
With Jez. Yeah, of course. And I agree with Jez. I mean, sometimes you've got to be careful about exposing these young kids to just thrashings. And it's better to keep them in the reserves and that. And then, you don't want your young kids getting that losing mentality too. You know what I mean? So you get a bit worried about that. But look, Scotty comes up a good point. I wouldn't worry too much, man. You've only got Adelaide, Geelong and Sydney in the next 4 weeks. So it's all good.
We've got Adelaide at home this week. We've got Adelaide at home.
They should make it. Yeah, they'd be pretty fucking happy about last week against Collingwood. I reckon
Collingwood would have softened them up here, Mark.
I reckon Tex Walker's going to be, he's going to be pretty happy.
He's too old, Tex Walker, mate. He's gone.
Yeah, he's still the best kick in the comp, man. He's a gun, man. Don't worry about Tex.
He's got to get the ball first, mate. He's got to get the ball first.
Steel Fork's going to make you. He's going to have dinner with you guys.
I'm concerned about him. He's the type of player that kick 9 against us.
He's a good player. Mate, that's the kind of player I want in my forward line. But Lone Wolf, thanks for the $5. Question for Mark. Instead of going back to your ex to coach Essendon, how about Voss or Buckley as coach of Essendon? Great candidates. You should get Voss.
You know what? At the end of the day,
don't. I'm even going to stop you here, bro. Stop. Do not even consider getting a Voss. I don't wish Voss to any club. I tell you right now, the bloke cannot coach. There was another game. Jesus Christ, man! These are like Tax Lotto numbers that are coming now. What's going on here? 105 to 48. Here's another one. I actually tipped Richmond. I thought you was going to have a bloody good go at this one, but they were just too good for you at the end.
Well, that's obviously why I'm doing good in the tipping, because I knew we weren't going to beat them. Look at that bloke Bont there. He's a gun. Look, there's not too much to say here, guys. We were competitive for the first quarter. That was about it. And then it was just the same old crap as usual. Surprisingly, I had to look back at the numbers. I think we won the head outs. I think we won or were even in center clearances. But when we had the ball, didn't use it well, like out of clearances. It was just like dump kicks, hack kicks to nowhere. And then, working the ball out of the back line, slow, boring, slow movement. Again, looking at the stats, you can see that in inside 50s. We had, I think, like maybe 20 less possessions for the game, but 61 inside, 50s to 39. And then the efficiency inside, we're only going at like 30% or something. Yeah, look, those are just a couple stats to throw at you. But to be honest, it was looks like we've packed it in. We weren't trying, like I said, we had a crack for a quarter, but then we're like, oh well, that's it. We've earned our paycheck. Let's just chill for the rest of the game, and that's what we did. It's it's frustrating. That's why I said at the start when you're asking the questions, it's it's hard to watch, hard to support your team at the moment when they don't even want to go out there and have a crack. So it's it's disappointing. Not too much more I can say, to be honest.
Nah, I can see it I can hear it in your voice, man. It's just like the season's over, disappointed, you know what I mean? You're not seeing any progress. You're worried about your coach, you know what I mean, that he's not the right person. And then, you know what I mean, there's a lot to think about and you don't know where you're going to go. What do you reckon, Jezza, about Richmond? Are they just...
Richmond, yeah. I think as far as the coach, I think Liam said it earlier on, he just hasn't had access to those young players that brought in over the last few years that while he's been in coach. So we haven't really had a good look at what he's able to do with a young team that's coming on. Obviously, their best players are still their senior players, you know, down the back line, Brody and what's his name, Nick Veloston and stuff are still good players. Bolt has had a really, really good year for them and stuff like that. So Lynch has been up and down. It's cost them 2 games against Carlton this year. So
yes, true. He's our best player.
I do agree with Liam. And it was almost like, you know, with our coach this year, we thought if they get 6 to 7 rounds in next year and they're losing games badly, I think they'll probably have to make some kind of hard decision on them, because then you'd be thinking, well, maybe it isn't working. But then they're going to be in the same problem as everyone else. Who do you get in the middle of the year, and do you want to waste the year?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You go, all right, so we get a new coach in after 8 rounds or something. Okay, is he going to be the coach the following year, or is it just going to be looking after it? So then we got to start all over again. So, but I think if they can get the younger players they've recruited for the last few years on the park more regular, I think they'll be okay. I don't see them playing for finals for a couple of years, much like ourselves and that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think they can push up the ladder a little bit more.
So I answer this, and I'll leave this to you, Jezza, because I can't ask these two this question. Who's got the better list if they're all up and about out of them two?
Yeah, no, I think Richmond. Because Richmond's got younger players.
They got some good young players, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they got some young players. I think the problem with Essendon, unfortunately, is their better players are the older players. So, even Smart was saying before, they're not bringing the young kids in through, so we're not getting a look at them. So they could be fantastic. They could surprise us all. If they were to bring all those young kids in over the next year or two, they might just improve out of sight. But I think at the moment, I would say Richmond's probably got the more stable team. I think they've got players that will be better in the shorter term.
I agree. I think not that they're unlucky, but I mean, Richmond have had some injuries this year to their young players, and they just can't get them on the park. And it'll be interesting to see all those young players at least play most of the year together and see what they can do. You know what I mean? That would have been interesting, but it didn't happen. I mean, they did sack their that fitness guy. Who did you sack? Or he left?
Ben Serple. Yeah, he's gone.
Yep. Yeah, he's gone. So, I mean, they've actually identified there's a problem there. Or else they wouldn't have got rid of him. So hopefully they can. And we had that problem too. Remember, we had all those injuries, and we got rid of our fitness guy there. And now, I'd tell you the truth, we're actually pretty fit this year as the Blues go. So that's the first step, getting your players on the. But I think Mark wouldn't disagree with that, to tell you the truth. I don't think Mark would disagree that Richmond have got the better list as far as the young kids go, because they've got a whole bunch of first rounders there who actually can play the game. I think definitely you can't disagree with that. You can't disagree with that. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the next few years, but at the moment,
Yeah.
their young kids do look like they're a lot better.
Yeah. As we're going along here, Rocco, just quickly, I've just noticed on the chat that there's a lot of comments here about some Essendon players. I just want to name a few quickly going here. Peter Somerville, Tony Bahagia, Kevin Walsh, Jay Cockatoo Collins, Glenn Hawker.
Rene Kink, man, he played in the losing grand final.
John Barnes. I'm actually going to see John Barnes' son this weekend. I've got a couple of quotes. His name is James Barnes, and he looks exactly like his old man. So I'll be seeing him this week again, Mr. James Barnes. So there's a lot of Essendon players there, mate. There's some really some good ones there. Peter Cransberg, Ed Considine.
Too bad they're all 80 years old now.
I can remember Ben Doolan. Remember him? Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe
one day we'll reminisce about the old players. All right.
There's a shitload there, mate.
There's a shitload. All right, just quickly. We already looked at this a few times, but as you can see, there's the ladder. I mean, the main thing is there. I don't know who's going to finish last. I really don't know who's going to finish last here. As far as people saying finish last, you get your first round pick, and then you can go for Cody Walker and that. Regardless of who's going to finish, they're going to bid for him, and then the next one's going to bid for Cochrane anyway. So you'll both get that. You'll both get that extra pick in at the end of the first round. So that's going to happen. So I don't know who's going to. I don't really know. I don't even know who's Richmond got. I think Essendon's got the harder thing. Richmond, is this your only chance to win a game this week?
I reckon maybe St Kilda.
Oh, yeah, Saints, you don't know what's going to happen.
Otherwise, we've got Adelaide and Adelaide next week, and we've got Geelong and Geelong last game.
Ooh,
so
no, that's tough. So you both
are the things, I reckon.
You both.
This week.
But anyway, Collingwood's won like the last 5, so they're fighting for that 6. It's going to be a big game tomorrow night. Carlton, we'll see what happens. If you can beat Brisbane, big chance. I think if we lose to Brisbane, which is most likely, we got St Kilda, the Doggies, and then Fremantle last one. So you'd have to beat St Kilda and Fremantle, and you'd have to beat St Kilda and the Doggies, and then hope for some other results to get in that top 10. And as I said, Essendon and Richmond, you can see. And while Jez is there, you can see West Coast there, just in 16th position too, sitting there on 4 wins. And just look at it. Just all right there.
Waiting for the 5th one. And we'll probably get the Pies over here next Sunday as well. We got pretty close to them in that big game in Pendlebury's game. I thought we were very competitive in that game.
I'm telling you, man. You haven't played bad footy. You haven't played some bad. You've played some good footy against some big sides too. You know, so that's the thing. And talking about big games, let's go straight into it. The Mark Miranda Cup here. Look at this. You got round 21. This is at the G. Like at 110. Good time to watch the footy. I reckon at 110. You got Richmond. You don't like it?
Oh, that's the morning over here.
Oh, it's been good for you guys. Yeah, that's it. So that's big. I'm going to leave this up to you two to tell me who's going to win this.
I'll let you go first, Liam, because you're 3-0 at the moment. So,
yeah, that is true.
That's how I actually come on. So you'd have, because every time I've come on and said we're going to win, you guys beat us. So
that is true. Like 9 games that Uze's won, 3 of them have been against West Coast. So there you go. Read into that what you will. Look, as I've said, it all depends what Richmond side turns up. If we actually turn up and want to have a crack and play, I think we can absolutely win this game. If we come back with the effort that we've seen in the last 2 weeks, it's going to be another tough afternoon. It really is. Clearly, we match up well with them. We've shown that in the past. I think a couple games, like I remember last year when we played against them, was some of the best football that I'd seen us play in a while. We moved the ball fast. We were kicking lots of goals. We were winning it out of the contest. It was really good. So it can be done. We are capable. It's just whether we want to put that performance or effort on the line this week. maybe we don't want to come last. As I've said, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of tanking and coming last. I think it's silly. So hopefully we'll put on a good effort. But yeah, I've got to give a bit of credit to West Coast. Like I've said to your dad, like about McQualter. We had him. He was pretty good. Now he's doing a good job at you guys. An interesting stat that I did saw, what I meant to say earlier was games this year, 100 points conceded. West Coast have only done it 6 times. We've done it 12. We've conceded 100 points or more 12 times this year. You've only done it 6 times. So again, read into that what you will. That's just more frustrations in terms of how we're being coached and what sort of game style that we have. But yeah, look, I've said it all along. When we're at our best is when we move ball fast, when we attack the game, take it on. I think, like you said earlier as well, when you guys make turnovers, you get punished for it. So that's something that we've struggled to do this season. But if we're going to get given those opportunities by you guys, we need to make sure we put them away. And if we can do that, we'll win. But effort based for me. That's all I want to say.
Good one. Haven't watched the live game earlier on this year. It was exactly as Liam said. The turnover game was terrible from both teams, but Richmond capitalized more on when we turned over the ball than we did when they done it. So that's something I hope that we've addressed by now. We have brought in a couple of different players. We have the young guy that we brought in the mid-season, Marcus, a Geelong player down in Geelong. I think he was from. He had a cracking game in the Derby last year. 36 touches. Very, very tough in and on the player. Doesn't mind all hustle and bustle of the game. He's going to bring a bit of a different look to the game this week, I reckon. As I said before, Waterman appears to be back into a bit of form. Now he wants to get the ball. He wants to kick the goals now, whereas a month ago he was looking to give it off. He had no confidence in his kicking at all. His kicking was terrible. Shanahan has been pretty good. He's been taking some pretty big marks and stuff like that. But I think the main thing is Williams in the ruck has been really, really solid. Like he done well against 2 really big ruckmen the other night in that derby. He still got his own 25 hit-outs. They only had 25 each as well. Sure, we lost the hit-out, but he's playing against 2 ruckmen all night and got around the ground a bit as well. I think his game will be critical, and I reckon Harley will pull his head in a little bit this week and think, okay, I need to do the team things and make sure this is our opportunity to win on the big stage on the MCG. We played really well the last time we played over there. So they're not scared of the ground by the size of it or anything like that. And I think we might just get you by a couple of goals.
There you go. That's a good review. I think, it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, I think West Coast are just playing better football than Richmond. I don't think Richmond can get over the line, to tell you the truth. I don't think they can do it. I think West Coast are playing some better footy. And I'm going to ask you, you're probably just going to give me the standard answer of in the midfield. But how is Richmond going to win this game, and how is West Coast going to win this game?
Go, Liam. You can go first.
Well, like I said, it's ball movement for us. We have to move the ball fast. I hate it when we move it slow. It's so boring. We turn it over more when we move it slow because we get trapped into long balls down the line or these stupid little sideways kicks that are just meaningless. We need to attack them. We need to take them on. And it's going to be winning the turnover game.
All right.
That's what we've said as well. So, yeah, I think I've already covered kind of how I think we should win the game.
Yep.
And effort. Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon for us, we need to do what Richmond were doing back in the day. Chaos football. We don't have the most skillful team at the moment, so we can't be going for perfect marks and perfect kicks. So when we move the ball on, whatever way we can, we actually catch teams out a little bit. But I agree with Liam. When we turn over the ball in bad parts of the ground, we really do get punished. So I think if we can play the game without trying to be perfect, just move the ball as fast as we can. Don't stop and think, because then we're just kicking it back in the back line. You get 8 possessions in the back line, the ball's gone nowhere. Then all of a sudden you miss your next target, and all of a sudden the ball's coming back over the back of the defender's heads. That's happened way too many times this year. And also we have to lower our eyes when we're going into the forward line, because we tend to bomb it in a lot. And players like Boston and Broad will just all day they'll be thinking, that's easy for us. That's easy for us. We'll mark everything. So we need to make sure, because Waterman can lead. Shanahan is really good on the lead. He's got a good, strong pair of hands. So we need to be kicking it to their advantage. And they need to be saying to them before the game, don't lead to the same spots, guys. You need to split the Richmond defence up. So if they can do that, I think we'll score enough goals.
Yeah. And I think I think both of your teams should be really going out there, like you were saying, just create chaos, mate. Take risk, carry the ball, run. If you make mistakes, you make mistakes. You know, all our teams are at the bottom of the ladder. So take that risk. I mean, we've all got game plans, I'm guessing. You know, each team's got a game plan to go through, and that's why they probably go to that game plan. But just take the game on. You know, they've got nothing to lose at the moment. So I hope both teams just do that, and I think it'll be an exciting game if they create some chaos and just take risks and take the ball and run, and anything can happen from there. So hopefully it does become an exciting game to watch, because if it's not like that, I think it's going to be a pretty boring game to watch. I think
it's pretty much I think the one who makes the least mistakes probably wins the game. And as far as game plan, I'll go back to the great Mike Tyson. His great quote was, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Indeed. Right? So everyone's got the plan until the next person does his plan. But I've got one question for you guys, and then we'll move on. And we discussed this last night, right, on our show. I'm going to ask Jezza this question, and this is asked by Scotty. Jezza, did you ever not take Liam to the footy because he had school in the morning?
Did you ever not tell him? Nah. What if the game was on late?
Yeah, just say, like, for example, so we had this discussion
on a Sunday evening if you weren't going to go home till 10 o'clock.
Thursday night, maybe.
Yeah, like a Thursday night game. Would you still take him to the footy if he had school?
He'd be all right. You still get
exactly.
up to school. You'd have more fun at the footy than you would going to school. So
this is what we were talking about yesterday.
The footy would be the reward to say get up and go to school the next day.
Exactly. This is what we were saying yesterday. People that make excuses, can't go to the footy, the kids got school the next day. What are you talking about? Like, the bloke's gone to fucking kindergarten, he's going to do finger painting the next day. Shut up. Like, and another thing, man, like, what time are you getting home that he's not going to get 8 hours sleep? Like, seriously, that is the worst excuse, man. I'm with you, Jezza. You got to go to the footy. You go to the footy, and then you know what? Just take a day off the next day. You're not going for your doctorate in bloody fucking psychology or something.
Most kids stay up later than what we do anyway.
Man,
they're on their old doom scrolling all night and everything. So
exactly, they probably don't go to bed till like 1 or 2. I reckon it's the parents that want to go to bed early. I reckon that's what it is, mate. Not the kids,
if you're using doom scrolling, get out of here.
Yes, sorry, man. Yeah. Sorry, Rocket, can I just circle back to one thing for a second?
Yep.
Yeah, you know how we had the ladder up before? This is a question for you, Marco. If you guys finish on the bottom of the ladder this year, there was a little article I read about 3 or 4 weeks ago saying that Essendon could potentially ask for an assistant package similar to what the Eagles got last year.
Yep.
Stupid.
You'd be happy enough for that?
Why did the Eagles receive that package? Can I ask
I think it's because they had finished in the bottom half of the ladder for so long. It was based on how many games they won and the position that it finished in over a period of 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so is that because of the way the club was run that they were sitting on the bottom of the ladder for 4 or 5 years, or was it because of I don't know? To me, I
remember answering this question before. I think it was when one of your old formers used to come under, another Collingwood supporter was most upset about it, and he thought, why do you need it? It's a combination of both. It's similar to keeping. It's like when you were talking to Saka there before, like, how long do you want to keep your older players? Because at some stage, they're not going to impact the game the way you want them to. And it's going to cost you. And that did cost the Eagles. We held on to premiership players for way too long. The coach had too much fight in it. They were actually still going to be good and play. And it cost us. It cost us 4 years, I reckon. So that side of it, from a management point of view and a coaching point of view, that was wrong. So
Yes.
Is it up to the AFL to turn and say, oh, well, we'll help you out? Like I said at the time, the rule is in place. So irrespective of what your club is, I still think you're entitled to be able to do something, because you don't want to be down the bottom of the ladder all the time, because it's no good for the league for the same teams to be winning over and over all the time. You want to see different teams with the potential to actually win a flag or play finals or improve year on year. So I don't have any problem if you guys get it. I think
look, I mean, like I said, if we do receive it,
why not?
bonus for us.
Why not?
If we do receive it, just a bonus for us. I'm not going to argue with that point. But when you guys received that package, did it benefit your club after the 4 or 5 years? Where were you at after you received that package?
Well, you only just got it on the draft last year, so we got an extra pick in the mid-season, and I think at the start of the first round of the draft. So we used them.
Okay.
So we did pick up a couple of players. So yeah, it has helped us get some more younger guys into the team. But also, I think we were able to keep some of the older players and know that, hey, we're not going to rely on you. We have a little bit of a backup plan. So I think the only thing I would look at, and we don't want to go back to the old days like the Cruiser Cup and stuff like that, but because obviously this year's draft is going to be the last uncompromised one before Tassie comes in.
Yes.
Do you think anyone at Essendon or Richmond would be thinking, Jesus, this might be our best chance to get a proper number one pick?
Hence the reason why I spoke a little bit earlier on the show about being bottom of the ladder. At least then we will get rewarded with number one pick because of future picks with Tassie coming in. So, and that was my theory with Collingwood and so forth. They're not going to get that opportunity in the next 2 or 3 years because Tassie's going to take everything. So it's probably a good time now to get the number one pick.
I don't think it matters 1 or 2. I mean, you're still going to get a good player. I mean, let's be serious. I mean, it doesn't. Just getting number one doesn't mean you're going to get.
But I think that the player number one is probably that potential player that we're looking for. So, being number one is a ruckman, and I think it probably benefit our club having a player like that to invest in. So, I know what you're saying. 1 or 2 or 3 is they're all pretty much similar, but what type of player you're after? I think we're after that number one.
Because I was quite surprised last year that the Eagles actually took the number one pick. I actually thought they might have split it like they did the previous, not the previous year, but the year before that. So obviously we took Harley with the number one pick, but the year before that we split it and we took 2 players. We ended up with Ruben Jimmy and some other player. And I thought they might have done the same last year, but obviously they have their plan in place and thinking, no, we can still afford to go with a bit of youth. Because I thought maybe you don't want too many young players because it's going to take a while for them to develop. But it turns out they got it right by taking Jerusalem.
Who did you guys get for Oscar Allen, Jizza? Who did you get for Oscar Allen? Because
I'm not too sure if we got a player so much as we got a pick off the top of my head.
Okay, honest, so. Because he's not doing too well at the moment.
He's not doing like he's played. He played 3 games in the league, and he's just come back into their VFL team.
Yeah, well, there you go. So
he was injured. I know you don't like him, but he was injured. No, you got pick 2 for Oscar Allen. You got Duff Titler for him. Because I remember that's who I wanted us to draft, but you guys obviously had to pick out of us.
And he is like a proper kid. You see him on the ground, and he looks like a kid. Like he's a big, tall, gangly kid. But if you can get a preseason into him into the gym and stuff like that, it's the same as Jerusalem. He's a talented player, but he's skinny as like he's got no muscle on him at all yet. But if they can get a couple of years into them in the gym, geez, we might be okay, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
it's going to be
just on the draft pick and Mark. I've got someone in mind who I'd like to see us pick first. Do you Essendon have someone in mind that they'd like to pick first if they get pick 1?
Yeah, well, it was that ruckman. I'm not quite sure what his name was. Van Turum. He's a big boy. He's a big boy, and I think that's what we need. We need some big boys in our team. Throw their weight away. Yeah, so that's I'd be happy with that.
Because I think that's who they're going after as well. Yeah.
The ruckman. I actually agree with the chat. You don't go for ruckman in your first picks, man, because ruckman take too long to. They take a long time to develop. Ruckman don't really develop till later on in their thing, and I don't think that's what you need. And
but I think these days, I don't think you need those young kids that develop a lot quicker than what they did 20 years ago.
Yeah, mate. But ruckman have always taken longer. Ruckman have always, big boys have always, the Ruckman have always taken longer to develop because of their crafts. But and I to tell you the truth, I don't think you need an A-grade Ruckman to win a premiership. I mean, the only other one I think is Gawn would be the one from Melbourne, but he's exceptional. I mean, Fremantle have got a good Ruckman, but really it's their other players. I don't know how many teams had great Ruckman. I don't think you need a great Ruckman. I think you need a great midfield and maybe a great forward, but I don't know. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. You just don't know. You just don't know who's going to be. All I know is we'll be getting Cody Walker. That's the main thing, mate. That's all I know.
No, I don't know. I like Mark's stats from a few weeks ago where he reckoned he had it all worked out how he was going to get him. So
yeah, he still hasn't.
Still haven't heard about it.
He still hasn't told me how he's going to do it.
No, he hasn't. So must be a huge calculation, I reckon.
Yeah, they've got it. They've got this secret whiteboard in the back room. They've got it all worked out, mate.
Oh, no.
But it's going to be
a whip around with the brown bags again. Who knows? You know, back to the old days.
It's going to be away, man. But yeah, listen, I'll tell you something about Cody. He will be a good player, but he's just dominating all the young. I mean, even again, he did it in the country league. He's just dominating. I think the last player that dominated like this was like a day cost. You know, he's playing for our VFL side, and he's been one of the best on there. It's a 17-year-old who's dominating in our VFL side. And I went to training a few weeks ago, right? So he's already even his jersey, not in the reserves, he wears number 76 or whatever. But when he trains with the senior side, like how many 17-year-olds are training with the senior side, right? So he's a good player, right? He's wearing the number 1. They've already given him the number, right? He's wearing the number 1 at training. And when he's at training, at the end of training, when they do the signatures, he gets the biggest cheer by the crowd. Like, it's phenomenal. It's like the Beatles. Like, so you get the captain, you get all of them coming up, signing signatures. He gets the biggest, like it's absolutely phenomenal to see, like, the fanfare. But as I said, the last one that was like got this sort of fanfare and I think can really make an impact would be was Dacos. He had the same sort of fanfare when he went over to Collingwood, you know, like, so. And I mean, if you really want to see and chat to this bloke, you would get your ticket to the big day out and see and meet Cody Walker, the next superstar of the Carlton Football Club. Make sure you get your tickets. It's in the link there. Very affordable. You get fed all day, get to meet these players on stage. There's going to be games. There's going to be handball comps. We're going to be up on stage. So make sure you get your tickets. How was that for a segue? Did you like that? Did you like that, Jens?
Will he be available, Rocco? He won't be suspended for anything, will he? You know,
who's that?
Make it, will he?
To the big day out?
No, because apparently he has a habit of getting suspended quite a bit. You know,
who's that? Cody, does he?
Rhys-Jones.
Oh, Rhys-Jones, yeah, no.
Will he be there? You know, or will something happen in the lead up? You know,
he reckons. Listen.
Yeah.
As many times as he got reported, it was never his fault, right? And I reckon he's going to take out a few people walking into the event on the 19th. Now, David Rhys-Jones, as I said, could be one of the toughest players that ever played the game, right? He never took a backward step, and he's such a good bloke. You see him on Blue Sunday. He's so candid. He just tells it as it is. He's one of us, yes, man. He's old school, big time.
Oh,
yeah. Love him. And trust me, when you meet him, he's such a good bloke. He'll talk to you. He'll be honest. And up on stage, he doesn't mind telling a good story. So he's going to be good value. And Ryan Houlihan, as I said, man, he's a good bloke, man. He's a good bloke. He gets around. He likes a beer. So we'll be having a drink with Ryan. So get your tickets. Get your tickets. What are we up to? All right, we talked about your game. So you reckon West Coast by how much?
Couple of goals for me.
And you? Yeah. Couple of goals. Close game. Yeah.
West
See
Coast.
Who takes it at the end. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to definitely be watching that game. I'll be also watching this game. We got a game on Saturday night against the Brisbane Lions. Didn't this bloke used to play for Essendon? He's doing all right there for Brisbane. Could have our
You're a
future
ruckman.
coach there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a bad ruckman. I mean, he's not a bad ruckman. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You fucking now going to get a number 1 draft pick. You're looking at a ruckman, and you had one there. You know, I say that about us. We're now looking for a big power forward. You know, far out. We had one. Like, what the hell? We just had one. Now we're just looking for one. You know, like far out. It's I still blame Voss for that. I still blame Voss, man. I reckon Curnow would have still been there if Voss wasn't there. If they got rid of him when they were supposed to, Curnow would have still been there. But anyway, we've got this big game at Marvel. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. I really don't expect us to win this game. I mean, they're too polished. They're actually just coming good at the right time. They're fighting now, not only for top 4, they're fighting for top 2. They're only like, I think they're only, what are they? Far out. They're only 1 game behind and more percentage, or is it? Oh, no, less percentage, but only 1 game behind top 2, which gives them that home final. So they're going to be fighting hard, man. It's going to be hard to beat this side, but I think Newman's out. We'll see who they bring in for that. Hopefully, they'll probably bring in Hollands. He's been playing a little bit in the back line. Maybe bring him in. I don't think there's going to be too many changes. I still think we're going to struggle to kick goals. We just got this mateship. What do you think about it? We've been saying that our forward line outside of Byrne, who's now really like stepping up, really could be one of the worst current forward lines I've ever seen. We've got Kemp and McGovern as our 2 main forwards, you know. McGovern wasn't even supposed to be on our list.
Yeah, he was coming back to West Coast at one stage.
Yeah, he was too. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. And now all of a sudden he's kicked 2nd most goals for us. And Kemp, I mean, he tries hard, but he's not. I mean, he does okay. You know, we need our midfielders. Hewitt's been going good. He kicked 3 goals. I mean, Haywood's been good for us. He kicked another 3. So we're going to need, I mean, our captain's been good. Our players have been playing well, but I don't think we can overcome Brisbane. They have to have a bad day. We have to have a good day. And but you never know. You never know. You never know. It's at Marvel. It's at Marvel. I'd give us some sort of chance. It depends on if we can take our opportunities. I think if we could take early opportunities, put them on the back foot. But they just, mate, when you look at the Brisbane side, man, they just got stars all over the ground from back to front. Like you just name them. Like they're just everywhere. Like who's going to kick their goals? Is it Charlie Curnow? Is it Rayner? Is it one of the Ashcrofts? You know, like who's going to do it this week? You know what I mean? Like, you know, through their middle and in their back line, it's so strong. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But we'll see how we go. If we beat Brisbane, we make the top 10. Yeah, I reckon we make the top 10.
Yeah. Be a good place to start.
Yeah, we got to beat them.
Yeah, you test yourselves against a really, really good team. That they are going along really nice at the moment.
It'd be good to see. I'm actually looking forward to it. Doesn't matter win or lose. Let's be serious. You know what I mean? Of course, I want us to win, but I want to see us up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about, for us, it's all about 27, 28, 29, 30, right? Let's be serious, right? I want to see us up against these sides. I want to see what we can do. Can we match it? Can we match it with them? I mean, I think we've been doing pretty good since Fraser's been there. We've been doing pretty good against the big sides. I mean, the only side that really smashed us was Hawthorn. Apart from that, we've been playing well.
The conditions were shit that night too.
Yeah, that was like, it was really shit.
3 quarters they just got hold of you.
Yeah, so I'm not taking too much into that, but they are also a good side. It's going to be interesting. We have some fair battles against Brisbane. Yeah, I want to see the young kids keep playing well. Billy Wilson taking them on. I want to see Harry Dean, mate, go after some of those players there, pushing them around. I want to see Jagger just keep getting better and better. You know, the bloke gets a lot of the ball. He knows how to get the ball, you know what I mean? I want to see him. I want to see Burn, you know, running around. Even people like little Frankie Evans has been playing well. You know what I mean? Dirksen, chucking him in the back line, and he's been doing well. So he's been filling in a position, you know what I mean? So Cowan, our wings are a bit of a worry. We'll see how we go there. I don't like, I said it last night, Cottrell. I hope they drop him this week. I don't think he gives us any value. I wouldn't mind. I know it's against Brisbane. Ben Camperelli's been playing well. I wouldn't mind seeing him come into the side and give him a go now. And, yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Hey, listen, Uncle Akka, I saw that comment you've just put up. If I ever see a comment like that again, right, I am going to ban you from my channel. If I ever see you put a comment like that again, and you take those words out of your mouth, mate. I don't want to hear that, mate. Jesus Christ. Don't even put that thought in my head. What are you doing to me? I know you're a Doggy supporter. I hope Bontempelli never plays a game again. How do you feel now? I hope the Duddy is. No, we like Uncle Echo. He's our favourite Doggy supporter. All right, we got that. I think there's only one more game. Do we really care about this game?
I do.
That's why I'm putting it up. Essendon versus Adelaide. I think Adelaide's going to be up and about, mate. This is Marvel. I mean, you are getting the great time slots here. 4:40 on a Sunday. Always the last game of the round is Essendon.
Doesn't wreck my weekend, mate. It doesn't wreck my weekend then.
You played at your favourite stadium.
Yeah,
Tell us about it.
You know, guys, the only positive thing about this is that we are playing at Marvel, and because we haven't, I don't think we've won a game for the last 2 years at the MCG. So, look, we're playing an interstate side as well in Adelaide, and they are playing some good football, the Crows. But, fingers crossed, we again show some effort, and if we can get close to how we played against GWS at Marvel, I think it's going to be a good game to watch. So I'm going to say just make some selections again, some drastic 6 or 7 changes. I think bring in Sardis, give him a go in the reserves. Darcy Parish, swing him back in. Jones, Brian will be back in the ruck. Johnson, and I think just give Gresham and Guelphy another run in the AFL, and that'll be their last opportunities to try and prove to see if they still deserve to be in this side. So massive changes. Swing them around again. Get rid of Mackay, Cox, the Greek fella there. I think he's had his opportunities. He needs to be dropped. Obviously, Roby, he's been injured. And Mr. Westerfield. Bring him all back into the resis. Give these other kids an opportunity as well as some of the senior blokes and see what they can prove. But I think if we can be competitive against the Crows, I think we'll win by 3 points. Just like we bet GWS by 3 points.
Anymore. You have not picked against Essendon all year. No matter who you're playing, you could be playing Jesus Christ himself, and you would say the same thing.
Correct.
I could just replay this every week. I think Essendon by 3 points. He says that every week.
So he's there 3 goals.
I hope it happens this Sunday, and we can get three wins on the board to try and finish off the season. So we'll see how we go, guys. But if we put a performance of what we did last week, Adelaide will absolutely smash us by more than 10 goals. So let's see how we go. Not much more I can say, boys. Not much more I can say.
Nah, that's it. As I said, you're waiting for the end of the year, man. It's just waiting. Before we go on, I just forgot to say for our game, of course, it's Cripper's 250th. So
congratulations,
good effort
Cripper.
to the man. Yeah, the bloke's a star, man. I mean, 250 games. He's carried a club for a long time, man. He's still a brute. He's still probably the best contested footballer out there. Definitely, you know what I mean? And still going at it. I mean, even last week, I think he had a record 15 contested possessions. So 15 clearances. What was it? I can't remember, but he had like a record, mate. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have won in that last quarter. He just was a brute in the middle. So congratulations. Stay loyal to the club. Could have gone back to West Coast or Fremantle for sure, especially West Coast. He could have gone back if he wanted to, but stayed loyal. And hopefully he stays around long enough to see some success, you know. So good on him. And we do love our captain. So congratulations.
And continuously, just with Essendon for the chat out there, I just will say another couple more extra names, boys. Ronnie Andrews, Corny Dempsey, Alan Izard, Justin Bloomfield, Chris Heffernan, Gary Moorcraft, and Paul Barnard.
It's the chat. I love this chat because just out of the blue, they just all started naming Essendon old players, and they all were going for it. So, sorry, yes, and they were just like, and it's funny some of the names that were coming up. So, Scotty, thank you very much. Also, Nick Haynes, 252. I forgot to mention.
That's a pretty good effort. 250
But
games.
Nick Haynes. Yeah, no, and to tell you the truth, Nick Haynes, he's been good for us. He's been really good. He's probably been one of our best defenders, man. He still can play. He's 33 or something. He could still play the game very good. He's been very good for us. So kudos, man. And I know that when he first came along, David Rhys-Jones wasn't happy with him. He started off not too good. He wears the number 26, so he was a little bit upset. But now I think he's given him the spirit of Carlton a few times, man. Quite impressed with him. So good on him too. So there'll be 200, that's 500 games of experience just in two players there, man. Just in two players there. So let's do it for the captain and let's do it for Haynes this week. Let's do it for the captain. Blake Carosella. I'm telling you, they just fucking keep naming Essendon players. What are you doing, man? So we got that. Where is it? Did I put it in there? I didn't fucking put it in there. Oh, let me put it in there now. All right. So we have got some games this week, and let's have a look. Where are you? Oh, here it is. Tips. Oh, let me put it in there now. All right. So we have got some games. I can hear my voice. Jesus Christ.
That was weird. Sorry, that's me. I was just changing the volume.
Here it is. As you can see, I think the only difference is I went for Geelong. What's that?
I don't think Manny would have gone for Essendon.
He went for Essendon, didn't he?
What is he
I
doing?
don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I reckon he wrote that wrong, but anyway, that's what he did.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's the wrong way around.
Yeah.
I'd say Mark tipped Essendon and Manny tipped that.
Yeah, I reckon you're right too. That's the wrong way around. So he stuffed that up, Bo. What are you doing, Bo? Yeah, we've got the totals anyway. But anyway, there it is, man. So quickly, let's go through these games.
Boom. Tomorrow night, Collingwood Geelong, big game. I reckon it'll be a big crowd as well. I reckon 70,000 maybe more. But I have a feeling Collingwood's going to get it done, but I'm not too sure. To be honest, I tipped them because I knew Manny was going to tip him, and I'm just trying to stay ahead of him. Anyway, Friday, Fremantle Bulldogs.
That's a bit shifty there, Liam.
That's what I was going to say. We shouldn't be putting our tips out there at the moment, mate, because these guys are just going to,
It's the same reason.
But how else are you going to do it?
Well, you got to send them to Bo personally, mate. No one needs to know the tips, mate, because they're just going to.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because Liam, you're just going to follow Manny's tips because you know that and then mate, you're shifty, Liam. You're shifty, mate. I know what you're doing, mate.
I knew what Manny was going to tip before Manny knew what he was going to tip.
Manny tipped first, and then you tipped last, and you pretty much tipped
exactly. Oh, there's a conspiracy theory here. I like the conspiracy theory.
Nah, that is not true. I literally know what you guys are going to tip. But anyway, all right. Fremantle Bulldogs, Friday night. Freo's obviously playing pretty well. Hopefully Bulldogs can challenge them. Saturday, St Kilda and Sydney. Surprised to see a couple tips for the Saints there. Maybe the home ground advantage, but Sydney should be too strong in that one. Hawthorn North Melbourne, down in Tassie. You think Hawthorn get the job done there. Port Adelaide and Giants. Honestly, anything can happen in that game. I'm surprised we all went with Port. Then, Carlton, the big milestone games against Brisbane. Hopefully it's a good contest, but I think Brisbane is too strong for you at the minute. Then you've got our big game, Richmond West Coast. How exciting. See, strategically, I'm tipping West Coast because if I win the tip, that's good. But if Richmond win, I'm also happy. So that's my thought process on that one. Also, I knew Manny would never tip. He never tips Richmond. He hates us. And then Gold Coast, Melbourne. Yeah, I think Gold Coast are due a win. They've got to do it now. And I feel like Melbourne can be a bit shaky outside of the MCG. So they weren't impressive the other day, even though they beat. Oh, no, that was a couple of weeks ago. They lost to Geelong the other day. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, then Essendon, Adelaide. I think the tip is the wrong way around there. You tip Adelaide. Be smart. Unless you're an Essendon fan, but yeah.
I reckon, just quietly, man, fucking Mark's onto something there, mate. I reckon it's a bit of a shifty ploy now, that because I just had a look and you tipped exactly what Manny tipped. You didn't go against him, and you admitted that you went for Collingwood, so you've actually dobbed yourself in.
Yeah,
right?
I know, mate. I've seen it coming, mate. I know,
don't
Liam.
check your tips, though.
I wasn't born yesterday, mate. I wasn't born yesterday, buddy. I know.
Nah, I don't check your tips. It doesn't matter.
Look at him. He's 5 in front. Say, you, because you're the last one always to tip.
That's
You
right, mate.
Always got to put in.
Nah, to be fair, you message like in Sunday while games are still being played. So I don't want to make that decision while the game is still being played. Because I need to watch the games and then make a decision.
To be fair,
that's why I leave it till later.
Yeah, no, you've got a point there, Liam.
I shouldn't be messaging you, and you should get in your tips early on Sunday because Bo has only got a certain amount of time to put everything together, and he can't wait for you to fucking finish at 10 o'clock at night to send your tips in. So, to be fair, you should just send your tips in anyway without me messaging you.
Oh, agree to disagree.
All right, we'll make a deal. We'll make a deal now, Rocco. We'll make a deal now. Next week, Liam, you're going to be the first one to put your tips in.
Fine. But I'm putting in my tips after all the games are finished.
Well, as long as Rocco is happy with that.
All right, you know what I'll do? Because they'll go into the message. All right, I'll work out a way.
Even with you too, Rocco, even though we know what you're tipping, but we don't know what exactly you're tipping, but you know what we're all tipping.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But you can see mine because I send them directly to Bo.
I know that, but we don't see what you're tipping, but you're seeing who we're tipping.
Yeah, but
Rocco,
I don't need. If I was going to cheat, I'd be.
I didn't say you're cheating. You didn't say you were cheating. I'm not accusing you.
I don't know. I reckon you just accused me there of just a little bit of cheating there, just quietly. You were just.
I'm accusing Liam of cheating. I reckon Liam's cheating.
And then you threw it onto me too now, just because you are. Let's have a look at this. Like, let's be serious, man.
But I know how
Rocco 25 behind. 25. I reckon that's a record. 25.
You know what, Rocco? At the end of the day, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. And what did I say last week? As long as I get to 100, I'm happy.
Oh, come on. You only said that last week.
For coming last in this. There's no reward for coming last.
That is the worst excuse I've ever heard. You're absolutely getting smashed, and then you go, at least if I get to 100. That is, that's why your Essendon side is shit. That's why, because that's the attitude you've got. It's absolute rubbish. All right. He's a cheater. Look, everyone's just saying Liam's a cheater. I think there should be an asterisk now on the win when he wins it.
He just says, he says he's a cheater. It doesn't specify who.
I think he's talking about you. I'm going to assume he's talking about you, right? And Uncle Akko, what do you reckon? I reckon we might have to have a meeting about putting an asterisk It's just like when you won the flag in COVID year, there should be an asterisk on there. And also, so there's actually form now. Richmond, Liam, cheating. I don't know, man. I don't like this, man. I don't like this at all. We'll talk about it. We'll have a meeting. Oh, look at this. Oh my God, can I sit next to Uncle Akka? Yes, you can sit next to Uncle Akka. And what's he talking about? Guys, get your tickets to the big day out and make sure you get them before they go out. There is only limited tickets overall, but there is also limited tickets on the VIP where you get to sit in the first 2 rows. You get reserved seat. You also get some merch and you get first access to the players. So make sure you get it. Andrew Walker, Cody Walker, father, son up there, David Rhys-Jones, Ryan Houlihan, and all sorts of stuff. There you go. I think Jezza might make it down. Come down, Jezza. What are you doing, man? Come down.
Oh, yeah.
It might be, maybe.
There's a small possibility, actually, I could be over there around that time.
All right. I want to see you and Liam up there. If you do come there, we'll get you up on stage. I want to get a Liam and Jezza discussion of where your season went up on stage. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. I like it.
All right, I'll do it.
It's all for fun. It's all just a bit of fun. All right. We're still getting fucking names here. What is going on? Scott Gubbleton. Remember him?
What?
Promising young player.
Yes. Rocco Moro's all the way. Maybe you can hitch a ride with Rocco Moro. He's not far from you. He's going to come across Rocco, not down. That's true. That is true. You're coming across the country, not down. I agree with you. So you're right.
Might have lost Jezza. Is that right? No, Jezza.
I think Jez is frozen unless he's playing a game.
My the laptop has the battery's died on it, so I've got it on the phone now, so I can see you guys on the phone. But not
all right, it's cool. So we can see you there, but we're gonna go anyway. But thanks, Jez, for joining us.
Thanks, Jez.
Thanks for having us on, boys.
You've been a star. We'll get you on again, and go. What's that?
What laptop are you using? You don't have a laptop.
Obviously using someone else's.
He's got my old internet, Dodo. Remember that,
Yeah.
Dodo?
If I knew how to plug it in, I probably would. So
I love this family discussion on the show. Where's your laptop? Thanks, Jezza. Thanks, boys. Thanks to the chat. You've been great tonight. Always you're stars in the chat. I love reading the chat and the fun. Make sure you catch tomorrow night with Selection Blues with another father and son on tomorrow night on Selection Blues. And we're going to do the live selection. We'll give you a preview of the game, and then we'll be playing redraft again. We did it last week. So have you played redraft?
Yeah, I saw you guys do it last week. It was good.
Mate, I had a ball. That's the first time I played it. So what you do, Mark, is you go back 10 or 15 or 20 years, whatever you want, but we went back 10 years, and you can redo the draft every year. So what happens is, depending on where you finish, you get your picks, and then you pick, and then everyone else picks and that, and then they play the season at the end, and you see where you finish. And then the next year you do the same thing, and you keep drafting. So you can draft whoever's available, right?
Yes.
So the first 5 years, we were finishing like second last, and then we built this team. We won 3 premierships in 5 years.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, we won 3 premierships. The other 2 premierships, we finished on top of the other 2 seasons. We finished on top of the ladder. And we beat Collingwood by a point in one of those grand finals. Great victory to the mighty fucking Blues, right? And we made a super team, and it was a dynasty team. So we're going to do it again tomorrow night. It's actually good. You actually enjoy it. It's fun, man. And what I do is I get the whole chat involved, so we all get to choose. who we draft for that year, you know.
Yeah,
So
cool.
it's
Looking
good
forward.
then. So we get to do
jump
that.
on.
So we'll do that. Yeah, that's right. If we had a chance, we'd probably draft Selwood instead of Bryce Gibbs if we had the chance. And the good thing is, in hindsight, we're all generals now. We know like what are going to be a good player.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's good. So make sure you catch us tomorrow night and then we go to the watch along with me, Bo, Mars, Taylor. I think Dylan, we're all going to be here doing the watch along. That should be a bit of fun, and then emergency meeting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Love the chat. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, and go the Mighty Blues.
Go to Dons.
Always, boss.